are stable, no frames being dropped, nice and stable 3 megabytes upload, and it's looking good.
Ta-da!
All right. Sandy, Red, hit us up with that summary for the week.
All right. So, if I remember correctly, last week we caught up right as one half, or one, not half, one part of the party, being Robin, was entering into the cathedral in Magnamar, and the other part of the party had just managed to navigate their way through a good bit of harassment at the gates. So, sticking with Robin's side of the story for a second, he was, sorry, he was basically questioned by the clerics and paladins of Iomade. He came in wearing their garments, but quickly revealed himself to not yet be a member of the flock officially. So they asked him a bunch of questions, specifically concerning the what's her name? The female paladin that had helped the group
Erica.
out back in Sandpoint. Erica, yes. And she is a former paladin now for some reason. And Marcus's body did make it back, so she did make it to the city. She's just kind of gone berserk and killed 2 people, and we don't know exactly why or what the heck is going on there, but something seems fishy. And Robin also presented the paladins with the super crazy phylactery thing and the piece of rock with the funny mushrooms growing on it, for them to try to deal with. Upon Robin's description of the necropolis forming, they quickly set up basically two columns of paladins and clerics that were going to go deal with that problem together. They did it very efficiently and took it very seriously. I think helped by the fact that Robin actually brought a broken phylactery with him. And then Robin was accepted to be part of the flock, as it were. He got the kind of check to go and try to be a paladin, but in a kind of surprising turn of events, he was actually allowed to go straight to the trial, where he had to walk across coals while covered in oil. So he literally lit on fire, but it was completely painless, and it was quite interesting. And then he went and to the other end and got a new silvered longsword, which is the weapon of Iomade, and that was kind of his trial. Meanwhile, and I mean, kind of over the night before some of that is happening, the other part of the group got into the city and had a couple closing words with the lead of the investigation of what's going on with the murders in Magnamar, and they decided to take his recommendation and go to an inn in Dockside. Called the Red Raven, I believe.
Crimson.
Crimson. Crimson Raven. And they made their way down there, but found some weird bloody cloth in an alley in the street in the nice district of town, and there's a bunch of garbage piling up because of the quarantine not quarantine, sorry, real life is sleeping in, the lockdown
Yeah.
that the city's under in the curfew. So they saw that, and they made their way back, or they made their way down to Dockside to the Crimson Raven. kind of slowly having some chats with the guard that had been tasked to escort them. They got Simon and Ruben delivered. We found out that they're also investigating the same set of murders, it seems like, or potentially connected murders. So we're all gonna kind of help each other with that. We got set up in the inn with with a bunch of us sharing a bunch of rooms. I don't exactly remember the details of the split, to be honest. I think Ruben and Simon had a room, Dorbin and Solera were one, and then everyone else was in a 4 or something like that. And then the next morning, we were a little concerned because we still hadn't found Robin, but we wandered back up to go to the halls of justice, and there was a giant line that we would have to wait in to get in. So we kind of looked at that and said, "Fuck that," and told Grigori and Simon and Ruben volunteered to wait for us there. The rest of us kind of wandered back through what we soon realized was like a little bit of a market district with some cool magic shops and stuff in it. Back to the cathedral to see if we could get some of the ongoing conditions dealt with, some diseases and some negative levels. So we made our way back to the cathedral, and I think it was Korax potentially, but I think it was Korax, found Robin hanging out in the banisters after someone at the front tipped us off that he was in there, and the party was reunited once again. There was some talk of strategy. Red got his level healed. I believe Sigus got cured of his funny mushroom disease. If I think I'm remembering that correctly. And
I did.
Then we established that Red would need to come back in a week with more money for another cure, but in the meantime, we were going to go work on solving some problems and hopefully find some loot to make up that money. And that there might be some shopping done off air. I don't remember if Robin decided he was going to come back and stay with us or whether he was going to continue staying with the chapel, but that's pretty much up to what I remember.
That is about where we left off, as you guys had once more recruited, or at least recovered, Robin, caught up with what had been going on, and I believe it was around that time where you guys were starting to think of heading back towards the Halls of Justice. Now, give me just 1 second. If the music is still a little bit too loud, there we go. So, go ahead and roll the fate die for me.
How many is it?
4 DF. 4 fate die. And then you get a +1 to whatever the result is. All right. You guys have 3 and I have 2. Yeah.
And we can use those on any rolls, right?
Yeah, indeed. You can use it on any roll after the fact. So once you see the result, you can choose to expend the fate die to get an extra D4, essentially.
So the fate, and we don't get the extra fate. We don't roll fate dice. They're the full D4s, though?
It's a D4, yeah. So
yeah,
the reason why we use fate die at the beginning is so that anything that comes out as a plus is an extra D4 that you guys get. Anything that comes out as a minus is a D4 that I get to use for the either against you or in favor of an enemy. So you guys had reconvened and come out of the cathedral, had talked to 2 of the clerics who had managed to partially recover the strength of the party. And it has been about 40 minutes since you guys left the Halls of Justice, and Grigori, Simon, and Ruben waiting there in line. So you do know that you have a little bit more time still, because it looked like it was going to be a couple hours until that line was done with. But yeah, you free to do with that time what you will. So,
Does anybody need anything while we're here? Or would you rather not get it? The price.
you
I think at some point Sigus would really like to bring up like if we're gonna make something. Obviously I want to, but whether we think that's a good idea. But if just because we don't have a ton of money,
Right.
and I know we were like one of the things that we were looking at is Dorbin's cross thing, but we are still short on that, a couple hundred. So it's just how people want to spend a bunch of the money. But
Gotcha.
One of the better things to do might be to take a crack at getting you something that will solidify your ability to sit down and just do your tinkering.
yeah,
So
yeah, I looked at that,
yeah,
but like the problem is it's like I could to the amount of money it would cost for me, it'd be like 1200 to like make me very reliable, but at that point we're then still don't have enough to buy the things that I would need that reliability to make. So there's no point I think making that now. I think it's like yeah, because I was just looking through and I think like we should be trying to like kind of bump up like Celera and Dorbin, just because by the nature of a lot of the magic items we found have been really awesome for like Robin and Red, and I think just helping like investing in kind of some of the other characters will help balance things out. That's my opinion.
100% agree.
Yeah. So, and I just know that like, yeah, I don't know. I don't have any ideas. I just know like this is something like my character can be very helpful in like making like turning liquid cash into stuff, whereas he can't do as much with the items. But if anyone has any good ideas, I'm also open to whatever.
you could. I mean, if you're worried about not having enough money, you could try and craft some items just to make money.
Always find some places to perform.
Yeah, like I don't know if that like. Yeah, not that we have to do it now. I just thought it'd be something that we should talk about before, like especially if we're talking about if we're in the shopping district, like if there's something that we think would really be good for the party. Like I'm not saying like me crafting something is the solution. Like even if we take that money and we buy like a wand of lesser restoration, so that Dorbin now can have like always have his spells instead of like constantly having to use all those slots for us. Like not that that would necessarily be a great use, but I think that's something that would really benefit.
Actually,
like,
given how much we've been hit with disease that's given us and conditions that have given us ability damage, you know, I'm thinking that's probably the right way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it would also invest a lot in fun of like Dorvin being able to cast spells.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree. Look at you. I love it.
I know there are like crossbow instrument things that Solera might be able to use, but I think that might be irrelevant because she sings.
It's those are high. I was talking to her about that. Those are high, like next potentially in a level or two, I'll be able to make that, and I think that could be really good. But it's kind of just out of our price range right now.
Just to note, a wand of lesser restoration would be roughly 4,000 gold.
Yeah, I know.
And that's specifically the use of lesser restoration that does not incur costs.
Exactly.
Yeah. So like, that was just an example of something that'd be expensive, and that like investing in more of like being.
So I imagine that you guys are probably talking about like what to get, what to craft as you're walking through the merchant shop area. Probably like window shopping a little bit. Maybe if you pick up something here and there.
Though another wand of cure light wounds would not be a bad thing.
Yeah, I don't think those are ever a bad investment.
There are a couple of shops that are selling small magical trinkets and like household items that are magical in nature. Things like There is an alchemist shop, but there is also like a general goods for adventurers.
Red is gonna run into some probably the adventure shop and try to just grab a basic buckler. It's like 5 gold or something for a medium-sized one.
Yeah, they sort of have the discount bin of traded in goods. Sort of like adventurers come in, trade in their armor for something else, or have it leave it there to be, scrap for parts kind of thing. And there's like the discount bin for bucklers and shields, which are, high overturn.
Is there an extra discount bin for a really small buckler? It's like a dinner plate.
There's probably like a couple small bucklers. They're costed at the same level as normal bucklers, and it's probably from people that have either no longer adventuring with small companions for one reason or another. But there's probably one or two here and there that have been the result of someone getting permanently reduced in size, kind of thing.
All right, Red will just run into the shop and run out. Once he sees them, he's like, "Oh, 1 second."
Right, yeah. Normal cost for a buckler. You can go in, grab from the bin. It's like they don't even look at you. It's not like they're gonna haggle with the price. It's just like pay just with the sign says. And it looks a little bit different from what you're used to, probably from being in Sandpoint and Riddleport. Magnemar is a lot more organized, so you do get the feeling that there's more than one shop clerk working at once, and this is a little bit of a bigger shop than normal. It feels a lot like for us, it's like a Best Buy for adventurers.
I was in Best Buy today.
Oh no.
I wonder if they have good adventuring fridges.
They have the best adventuring fridges. We call them bags of holding.
Sorry, I was shocked today at the amount of Best Buy that is filled with appliances, and I just needed to throw that out there because that was a weird thing for me today. Anyways,
nah, man.
sorry
Best
about
Buy
that.
is all appliances always.
But yeah. Yeah, you can get your buckler there, and I imagine the party is sort of still trying to figure out if there's anything that you guys need or feel inspired by to buy or to craft later in the day. But I imagine as we were going through the merchant street, time is going by, and you were sort of walking rather slowly. So by the time that you guys arrive back at the Fairy Quill, which by the way is the name of the bookshop, um, it has been around an hour and like 10 minutes thereabouts. So, you still have a little bit more time if you wanted to, but it's starting to push it.
So, what do you guys think? We head back, or do you want to stick your head in there? He's pointing at the magic bookshop. Siggy, we all saw the twinkle in your eye when we walked by this the first time.
I would love to poke my head in, at least just so I know what's there. That'd be awesome. If other people want to pop in other stores, for sure. But yeah, like a quick look, just in and out. 5 minutes, 5-minute adventure.
3 months later.
3 months later.
Yeah. Yeah, you say as if, I mean, it's up to the party if you guys want to go in for a quick look.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Wander around in there with Sigas.
Yeah. So Sigas, you probably take the initiative, I'm imagining. And as you open the door, you do hear the beautiful high-pitched ding of a small bell over the door. Ding. And as you walk in, you see that most of the shop is empty, with the exception of a finely dressed nobleman who seems to be perusing one of the books that they've sort of taken off the bookshelves, and the shop clerk themselves. And this is talking about the first floor, as there is a set of stairs going into the second floor of the building.
Got ya. I think so. Kind of peer around and kind of see what the set of the store is. It all just books, or is it all sorts of different items?
So it's about 90% books, and whatever
Mhm.
is not a book, it's either some kind of antique or a form of alternative form of writing. So things like carvings on stone, scrolls
Got ya.
themselves, things like dioceses and like rotating discs, that kind of thing.
Perfect. I was just gonna walk up to the clerk and say hello and explain, Ferd just came into town and was looking to see what the city can offer, and your store looks fantastic. Would you tell me a bit about it
Well,
and what services you offer?
of course, of course. Welcome to the Fairy Quill, and welcome to Magnor as well. Well, here at the Fairy Quill, we offer all sorts of antiques and hard to find books. Anything from ranging from a simple lost fairy tale to a ever useful magical tome, perhaps containing some spells. We do also dabble in antiques and relics of the past. We do have a certain taste for Thessalonian history, as the
Ooh,
shop owner fancies himself a historian. By
that
the
is
way,
fast.
I am Marianne. If you need anything, or if you'd like to know anything about any one of the items in our shop, you may ask freely.
Uh, awesome. Well, thank you so much. Well, I think we're just heading out, but I will definitely be coming back to have a more thorough look. Very interesting.
Uh, do you think you actually have to be there? Do you want to just chill here and have everybody else like pick up our passes? Because
Well, I figured I'll go with the crew and pick up passes, and then I don't know if we have some downtime at some point. I might wander back, or before we
The
head
the
back tonight.
magistrates might want to actually see who they're appointing
Yeah,
as sheriffs of
I'm
this,
ass-
or parts of this investigation.
if
Yeah.
we're gonna be here for a while, we'll probably be over. But
Has everyone entered the shop then?
Yeah.
After saying
yes.
Yeah.
yes. All right. Um, Solera, um, the gentleman who's sort of taking a gander at the book, sort of lifts their head, and they're sort of their body's sort of looking towards the entrance, and they're sort of lifted their eyes from the book and are looking at you. They're sort of like blinking a couple times, trying to make uh, things make sense in their mind. You get that sort of sensation from them, and you sort of recognize the person, and they give you a smile after a second, like Silera, you're back to Magnor already. I wasn't expecting you too soon. It's good to see you again. And like they put down the book, and you recognize this person as being Sir Frank Leon Newkey.
Oh,
Yeah,
hi. Yeah. How are you?
I'm doing quite all right actually. So I've been a little bit stuck here in this town. They've been locking down everything, and my ship is a little bit complicated when it comes to taking off. So I'm not the greatest of times, but I've been keeping my sanity, I would say.
Well, good. It's been a while since I've seen you.
So how about yourselves? You seem to be in a little bit of a hurry, I see.
Yeah, we're just in town doing a little bit of shopping. Have some errands that we need. Yeah, we just got here not too long.
All right. And just very quickly for everyone else, I'm gonna bring up the Oh, sorry. I'm going to bring up the image for Sir Frank Leon Newkey. Oh. I keep saying Leon, it's Lion. Sir Frank Lion Newkey. There we go.
Nah.
I'm just going to drop it
Tomato,
over here.
potato.
Yeah.
That is one hell of a moniker.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
He's a finely dressed young nobleman.
So now we know who the big bad evil guy is. All right.
He looks like he
True.
sparkles in the sunshine.
Yeah.
So,
So
is your name Edward?
no, it is Frank. Sir Frank for you.
No, sorry, that was out of character.
All right, but Salera, sorry. Repeat what was the last thing that you said to them? Good to see you, right? That was about
Yeah, and that he asked what we were doing,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I said we're here now, or just got here and running some errands around town.
Oh well, already keeping yourselves busy, I see. Good. That is good. Well, if you ever find yourself with the time to visit, you know where to find my ship. The Misfortune is always open to you. And well, if you find yourself in need of one or two items out there, just let me know. Eh?
Sounds good. Thank you. Good to see you.
Is that? Hang on, you. Those are your companions, are they not?
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I should have introduced them to you.
Yeah. I'm just asking because I do recognize a strapping young fellow with you. Although last time I saw him, he was a very young teenager. Although he's
Who?
still quite young. He's sort of like looking in the direction of Robin.
Oh, I thought he
At
was
the
talking
counter
to.
with Sigus, like talking about how they have the Thessalonian stuff.
Yeah.
Robin's like not
Yeah.
really paying attention.
Yeah.
Red will like wander over and be like, Robin, they're talking about you.
But I would love it. I would love it if you could introduce me to the rest of your companions. It'd be nice.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, absolutely. So this over here is Dorb, and then
Howdy.
the little one right here is Red. And
Hello.
Oh,
then
hang on.
this is Sigus.
Well, a pleasure to meet you all. I do believe, Dorban, I believe you're a little bit of a clumsy person in social gatherings, are you not?
So you remember that, huh?
Yeah, it's you made quite an impression during the ball. As you
Yeah,
could
that was
say,
my
you
first
you
one.
dropped it.
Wait,
Yeah.
hold on. Dorbin went to a ball? Oh, this is a
Oh,
story
it's-
we need to hear.
No,
What's a-
Wait.
we don't need to hear about this at all.
Yep.
Nope, not a thing.
I will leave you to tell that story yourself. I'm sure you wouldn't want me spoiling the surprise. So you said,
It's a little too late for that.
And I'm just
Apologies.
looking at him like confusedly, like, huh?
Don't worry about it, Solera. It's I believe it was a little bit of a mishap. One of our, I believe it was the bank's estate annual ball, but that was just a lovely little something that happened on the sidelines. No need to worry yourself about it.
Oh,
Bank-
okay.
Banks is in the noble family, Banks?
Oh yes.
And I think that it would be I am finally drawing the connection between the dinner and Robin.
And I just
Yep.
remember the name of the ball was.
Yep.
Yep.
And so there's a in my head.
Seems like the
Ding, easy bake oven.
together. All right.
Damn you, lion.
Well, it is lovely to see you, but I do believe you're in a little bit of a hurry, so I wouldn't want to keep you from whatever it is you're doing. Just note that you can find me in my ship about any time. I'm not out and about trying to find myself something to entertain myself with. Um, yeah, it was lovely to see the lot of you.
Good to see you too. I'm still kind of trying to piece things together in my head, distracted.
Oh, before I forget, and he's sort of tapping his suit, and like he's trying to find something in his pockets, and eventually reaches in. Ah, here it is. In case you need to find me, and I'm not at my office, and he hands you over a what looks like a business card, which is like this slick black and embroidered with not embroidered, but like signed in gold ink, and just says Sir Frank Leon Newkey, um, entrepreneur extraordinaire on one side.
Nice.
Yep.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I'll see you around. Maribel, it was a pleasure. I will be returning some other time, I'm afraid. And he gives the clerk a smile, a wave, and he starts to march on out of the shop.
Robin turns back to the clerk and is like, "So, as I was saying, you're owner of the shop or whatever. If I could just like talk to him, maybe later tonight. I've got some stuff that I'd like to ask him, and I might be able to answer some of his questions too. Just particularly around Thessalonian stuff. My buddy over here is probably going to be a part of that too. So,
Well, I could certainly arrange for a meeting with Sir. Um, I don't believe tonight will be any good. Um, if you could return in a couple days so that we could um, settle the time, or perhaps if you can tell me where you're staying at, I could have a message delivered once we have come to a consensus.
I'm I'm going to be bunking at the Church of Iomade.
Okay. I'll make sure that we send message there then. You said your name was Robin, correct?
Yes.
All right. We'll send for Brother Robin then, I'm imagining.
Yes.
Okay. And she picks up a quill and takes note on her little notebook.
Thank you very
All right.
much. We may be back later just to peruse some books, but yeah, guess we're out now.
You're always welcome at the fair, Quill. Have a good day.
You too. Also, who the fuck was that guy as he walks back to everybody else?
Hold on.
Did your family hold balls?
So,
Can you rephrase that? Because that sounds. Because are we
His
still
mom
doing
definitely
phrasing?
does. No.
Well- I mean, it's your parents. I don't know what they do in their spare time.
so why am I? Sometimes I'm so dense.
Yeah, you are. But most of the time, it's fine.
I'm
Dense
just
in what
now.
way? Like you sink?
Well,
Boo.
No,
great at swimming.
she is not. No, she is not sinking. She's definitely a floater.
I didn't realize that. Gosh, it's been so long, and it feels like it's been so long. It feels like it's been years.
It has
After
been
we-
several months though since we did the interlude.
Yes, I know it hasn't been. Before I left, I went to a dinner party at the Banks estate, and I'm just now realizing that you that of that same family. I knew what your last name was, but I never made that connection until right now.
I mean, to be fair, I didn't
If
know
you
it
could
was
just
called
forget that connection, that would be great.
Does that mean we're gonna have to worry about your family looking us up over here?
I don't know if Jabrail ever
Oh,
sent out word to the rest of the Skizarni.
Did anyone else hear your conversation with him? Because half the group booked it back to Magnamar. So if anyone heard it, you can assume that everyone or a lot of other people will at this point.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, my auntie L is in with the I'm gonna just call them the Skarni. I've never fucking been able to do it, honestly.
I was part
you
of
know,
it for years. I still can't pronounce it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. My auntie L is kind of in with them. So by kind of in with them, I mean like she's kind of a big deal. But
Damn.
maybe she'll
That
keep my ass covered.
That explains the whole cat burglar thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get right to mom and dad. Less often than I used to, but they probably will find out that I am here. Whatever, it's fine.
Wait, you have parents here?
No, but I'm sure word will get out to my parents where I'm at.
Yeah.
Is everyone here from like a noble house except me, or what the hell is happening? Like you're all going to fancy dinner
Quiet.
parties and shit?
Pleb.
I was
Laughs
taken
in
to the
Elven.
fancy dinner party to learn the ways of court. So I didn't even know obviously didn't even know the name of the ball. Otherwise, I would have made the connection that it was Robin's parents who threw it.
Huh.
Well, Aaron.
But I don't remember Tylera there at all.
I must have escaped before you came because I feel like it would be very difficult to miss you.
Me?
Yeah.
I mean,
Says the one who has the crazy voice.
I mean, especially what happened at the party.
What happened at the party?
Well, since the wonderful Lion brought it up, it was again my first time ever being to court of any sort, and I was incredibly nervous. I was very young. I had just started my cleric training. We just come from the Citadel, and I was pretty nervous. And in my haste to eat, I guess, and kind of get away from everybody, I dropped an entire platter of stuff. And literally everybody looked at me. So if you were there, you probably looked at me.
Huh. Well, I thought it was going to be worse than that.
No,
That
it was
sounds like-
just me being clumsy.
That just sounds like the start of the good part of the party. Because there's the
when
boring
people start
part, and then
dropping
there's the
stuff,
good part.
Yeah, you gotta get to the level where people start dropping things. Then you know that like it just gets better.
Yeah.
I think Dorbin saying that he dropped the thing before the dropping things part of this party
I
started.
hadn't even gotten
Wait.
any ale yet.
You know,
You
1
were-
in 5 men. It's okay.
You were just ahead of the curve. You
I mean,
were
I've never been super. I guess I've always been clumsy, and that's why I wear this super heavy armor, so I don't have to worry about not being able to get dodging things.
That explains why you fell over that one time.
Yeah, it happens to me a lot.
Yeah, that's weird for a dwarf. Usually dwarves are just like they stand there and never fall over.
I'm good at standing there and never falling over, but if I'm in the middle of moving, that's when it becomes an issue.
So, all right, no, that's fair.
I'm sturdy once I've stood still.
Note to self: don't trip Dorbin.
Because it's
But
really
if you
easy.
have to, it won't be hard.
Yeah.
Yes.
true.
Here, hold this. Oh my
Or
god! And then he drops it. I don't know.
Don't give me anything
I
bad
guess
to lever.
more correctly, make sure nothing trips Dorbin.
I'd appreciate that.
Morbin.
All right.
He's like a turtle. Once he gets knocked on his back, he just flails.
Now I have that image of Dorbin ingrained in my mind forever.
That only happens when my shield's on my back, okay? And it was only that one time.
I'd also just like to point out that I think
actually
any
happened.
dwarf that falls over would kind of just have a moment of like, fuck, I can't really get upright, and they have to like roll a bit, and they have to like,
Yeah.
because they're so stocky that they have to like.
They're like brick shaped.
Yeah.
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 So you guys, as your guys are having a little bit of banter and talking about the past you have left behind, you guys looking for something still within the shop, or are you guys heading out?
I figure we could
I
probably.
figure we're walking and talking.
All right.
Yeah.
Kind
So,
of, just seeing what they have to offer so that can come back if we need something specific.
sure. So Sigus is probably like hanging back a little bit, taking in what's in stock as the rest of the party is sort of funneling out of the shop, talking a little bit, and they stop to wait a couple seconds for Sigus to catch up, and you guys walk and talk, and as you eventually round the corner on the separating main street, um, you see that the line of people who are waiting to enter the halls of justice still quite imposing, but it looks like Grigori, Simon, and Ruben have moved quite far ahead. In fact, they're about to get to the checkpoint.
Oh,
Me.
time to.
Perfect.
Time to
We,
earn all the death glares.
Yeah.
As
we
we
owe
walk.
those guys some ale for sure.
Yeah. So as you guys cut in line, you get the
Excuse me, pardon me.
yeah, you get those stares of like, wait, what? Hey, no, we're waiting. Hey,
I'm so sorry.
and you start hearing like
Official
people like,
business.
hey, wait, no, wait, where are they able to cut in line? What the fuck is this? And you get a lot of
We're
like
saving our
clamoring.
spot. Bucks.
VIP coming through.
Yeah. A guard sort of comes to stop you guys, and and just before he sort of gets to you, they're sort of holding their hands up. You hear Grigori go like, no, they're with us. They're with us. Please, they're the people that we were waiting for. Like they sort of the guard sort of gestures for you to hurry up to catch up to them.
We're coming. We're coming.
Yeah. You sort of hurry up, finally get to where Grigori is, and they sort of push back and push forward a little bit to make room for you guys in the line. The party of what is it now? 8? Yeah. Um, yeah, you guys are sort of clustered together, and sure enough, you see the person just before you guys goes into the checkpoint, um, and you guys are sort of being held up a little bit until the person is checked in, and sure enough, Simon, Ruben, and Gregory are sort of like just chit chatting and making sure that you guys made it back in time. It's like you cut it close, you cut it very close.
We're just really good at getting here on. We planned it
hey.
that way.
Look
We
at you
found
guys.
a Robin.
Yeah, what up?
Oh, good. I thought you died last night. I had given up on you almost. Good to see you
Thanks,
alive.
I really appreciate that. You need to give me more credit, dude.
It's okay. We give up on them on a regular basis. I'm just kidding. Don't give me that look.
Damn.
We left you to die like
Yeah.
only once.
Only
Die, for the record.
Yeah, I know.
And as you guys are sort of going back and forth, the guard at the checkpoint sort of calls you guys over and says, "All right, next group of people, please." Oh god, it's a big one. All right, 4 of you this way. The next 4 on the other side, please.
Sure.
And as you guys are coming in, the guards are sort of going like, "All right, any magical items? Please leave on the tables over there. We'll check them into inventory. If any of you are casters or of the arcane arts, or you are blessed with powers from the divine, please inform us now so that we can get into that check-in."
I'm a divine caster.
Red just starts unloading weaponry.
Yeah.
Yeah, Robin's just gonna start stuffing things into the fanny pack and being like, Yep. It's got space. I emptied out all those rations, so just like
Oh, that's good.
hit me.
Sir, if that is a bag of holding, I'm gonna need you to empty the contents onto the table.
Damn.
All right.
If you could
I'm
just
gonna
reach
store
in and just
everything in here.
reach
then
in
maybe-
and flip it inside out if you could.
Yeah. All right. What do I have in here? I've got
Do we
the
still
Raven's
have a-
Electrum, the non-masterwork thieves tools, and all of Aldern's stuff.
Yeah.
Do
So
we still have a head in there, or did that we get rid
No.
of that?
We got rid of that.
Yeah, we got rid of that.
Only you wanted to keep the head in a bag.
It was his
That was-
father figure. Chill.
That was my good character too.
That's fair.
yeah. So Robin, you sort of are you reaching in and like flipping it inside out, or are you just like picking things out one by one?
No, I feel like I'd sort of like tilt it and like gently allow the things to fall out because some things might be fragile.
Yeah. So you're like
Um,
letting things out
yeah.
one by one then. But
Yeah.
as you're sort of done and you've flipped the bag of holding upside down to like show that it's empty, the guard will sort of repeat instantly, "Sir, I must insist. I do need you to flip it inside out just to make sure that you're not."
Well, yeah. Now that it's empty, I'll flip it inside out.
Right,
I just didn't want anything to break. That's
Right,
all.
thank you. Yeah, and the guard will sort of. So one guard is attending 4 of you, and then there's another guard attending the other 4.
So is it weapons and magic items, or just magic items?
Magic items and weapons. Essentially, they're making full inventory just to make sure that you're not bringing anything that would be dangerous.
Hey, also, Sigus, do you want to make a copy for ourselves as well? Just like take note of what we're.
Sure.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
We can provide you with a duplicate of the inventory before you head in.
Amazing.
Right.
So, Sigus, go ahead, start writing.
Okay. Well, are we doing all the thing for everyone's
You don't
items?
need to. We do know what's in your character sheets, and you don't
Yeah.
need to take it out. But we can
Yeah,
assume
at some
that.
point if
Yeah, you're taking notes.
Gotcha.
yeah.
The guards will go through everything, and once they have gone through the items, I'm trying to remember if you guys picked anything that would be sort of questionable. Do you guys have any? God, there's so many items you haven't picked up. You left all the evil items at the church to be destroyed, because Robin had most of those, if not all.
I had all of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally all of them in the bag of holding because we didn't want them to be infected.
Yeah, no, you
I
guys
don't think
haven't
we have-
picked.
we don't
No,
have anything like evil or
no,
anything.
no.
No.
Funnily enough, the other group had like 10 items that were
Everything.
evil.
Yeah.
We're
makes
slow,
sense.
but we're also smart.
Yeah. Yeah. So they go through all the inventory. And they're like, all right. It looks like you're all clear. We'll put the items into storage, and you'll be able to take them out once you're leaving the halls of justice. We do require, however, that the casters put on these handcuffs. They will inhibit your ability to cast spells while you're inside of the halls of justice.
Oh wow, those are
All right, no
probably
problem.
pretty pricey. Dang.
I would love to take a look at those before I put them on, if that's possible.
Certainly, you may inspect them. You will be required to wear them while you are at the halls of justice, however.
Got ya. Well, I will put them on. I just want to check it out, so I'm going to see. Like, are they just? I would like to try and
Yeah,
identify.
give me a spellcraft check then,
Yeah,
as you're sort of trying to detect magic on them, I imagine, and trying to identify the properties before you put them on.
Sorry.
I will
And-
assist you. Oh,
Right? I mean, you can
You might
tell
need it.
you can tell that there is some old tech. They don't seem like they seem aged. They seem to be made out of a dark sort of greenish metal. Doesn't quite look like adamantine, but it sort of has that similar tinge to it. And they're most definitely magical. But at the touch, you can feel like your energy being sapped from you. Sort of, it's not quite drained. It's more like a ripple going through your body whenever you touch them. Sort of a static effect, disrupting your energies, your arcane energy.
Huh. Weird. Caster-proof cuffs.
Yep. So you'll see that Simon puts on a set of cuffs, and Dorban and Silera and Sigis, all three of you are offered each a set of these handcuffs to put on.
Oh, do innate magical abilities count as casting?
I'm afraid so. Oh, you're a gnome. Yeah, no, you will have to put these on as well.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah. And they offer you as well, right? A set of handcuffs. Is anyone resisting or intending not to put them on or something?
Well, Robin doesn't need them.
Nope. I mean, Robin is the only one that doesn't need them.
Like I could use key points, but that's not really spells, and I'm also out. So, yeah.
I shall not resist.
All right.
Red's going with it, but he'll keep his boots on unless they check those.
What are your boots are?
It's got a knife in it, basically.
Give me a. What would it be? Give me a
sleight of foot.
Sleight of hand, yeah. Let's assume it's a sleight of hand. Because essentially, you're trying to. They would have you remove your boots and put them on the table for everyone.
Oh, okay. If they're actually going through the whole thing, I thought if they were just letting footwear by, he would keep it on. But if
yeah, no, but it's not that they are checking the boot. It's more like they are checking that there's nothing in the boot and that you don't have something strapped to your leg. So it's like sort of airport security feeling to it.
Okay,
but
I'll roll the thingamajig
yeah.
then. So I don't
Also,
minimize
you're
that
back,
tab.
right?
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry about that.
No worries.
That's not bad.
My computer was not plugged in, and it decided to be like, "Hey man, you're on low battery." Just kidding. I'm gonna turn off now.
Okay. Did you catch what I said about the cuffs?
I caught that they're oldish magic, but that's about it.
Okay, and the last thing is that they disrupt arcane energies as well as divine.
So they're more like an armor with like 100% armor check.
Essentially, no, they're more like a piece of armor that has something more akin to like anti-magic on the wearer kind of thing.
Okay.
It's kryptonite for magicians, basically.
Yeah.
And clerics.
Sea prism stone.
Yeah.
For devil fruit eaters. Yeah.
Right, you rolled a sense motive instead of a sleight of hand, just FYI.
Oh. Well, that would explain that.
You didn't quite pull that off.
Yeah.
Add two.
Oh, it's just two more. Okay. Yeah, no, you probably managed to just sort of put your boots there and you don't touch anything. And as they're sort of flipping the thing around and like sort of just inspecting the inside, they don't seem to pick up on the fact that there is a hidden knife compartment on the tip of the boot. So they sort of give them back to you and apologize for the inconvenience and sort of ask you to proceed once you put on your cuffs.
Yeah. No, thank you for the inspection. I hadn't realized how dusty those had gotten on the trail.
Right. Yeah, please go ahead. You'll be able to sign in, and they'll instruct you to, if you don't know who you're talking to, the lady over there by the entrance, and they're sort of pointing across the plaza to the main building, and you can tell like there's an ant next to a white column. He's pointing to, and you imagine that's a person. Um, that lady over there will let you know if you don't know how to get to who you need to talk to.
Sounds like we're going to go visit that lady, guys.
Yup.
All right. Please
Another fun
go in. And they're sort of gesture. The couple guards are sort of moving you out of the check-in area. Yeah. You guys are now within the confines of the halls of justice, which have a very calm sort of rather open area plaza around the main building, which looks a lot like the Parthenon, as I described before.
Mhm.
So, you guys heading towards the building, or?
Well, the lady,
Yeah.
so that we can figure out where to go.
Yeah.
Right.
Wait, what? Oh my god. That's a good point. Red. Oh, right. Red, are you bringing your pet rat with you?
No, he's just going to chill with the weapons.
All right.
For us.
You checked a rat?
Yeah.
What the hell?
He's a gnome.
All gnomes
Can
have
rats
rats.
be gnomes?
Everybody knows that.
He's
I've
had
lived
a
in
rat
my
since
whole
the
life.
beginning,
They
guys.
don't.
No,
Yeah.
I do
It
remember
sounded
that
like
now.
that your rat is a gnome, and so I was like, wait.
So that's a good point. Sigus, are you taking Korvax with you, or are you leaving them at the checkpoint as well?
Yeah, no. I'm gonna bring him with me. I think.
Okay, yeah, no.
That's
They're allowed through.
Smart.
But yeah, you guys sort of arrive at the halls of justice, and the lady by the entrance, who's holding what looks like a clipboard and is going through it, sort of notices you and sort of doesn't approach you, but she's sort of tracking you with her eyes. And just to be clear, this is an elven woman with long, sort of bronze hair tied into a bun over her head. She's wearing a set of spectacles and otherwise is dressed like office. So, like, sorry, when I say office, I mean an officer, like a higher ranking member of the guards, more of a clerk than a guard.
got it.
Hello. Do you
We're not
have?
really sure where we need to go or what we
Weren't
need
we-
to do.
Weren't we told for a specific judge though? He usually works late into the night. That's all I remember. I could try and recall his name. I could. Does that not sound familiar to other people?
No, that does sound familiar.
Yeah. So Sigus, you were told that you should meet up with Justice Ironbriar.
Gaia.
Yeah. Yeah.
We were told to meet Justice Ironbriar.
All right. The purpose of your visit?
We have been recommended. We have a recommendation from Lieutenant insert name here.
Lycott.
That's
To
not
be-
very helpful, Sigus. You gotta
Sorry.
gotta name drop, dude.
Well,
I wasn't
usually
there, so I
magic.
can't help.
Usually magic fills that in, but I have no magic
Oh.
right now.
Shit, man.
And then he has recommended us to be deputized to aid in his efforts.
Wait a minute, and she starts flipping through pages, and he goes like, "All right. Yes. Okay. Lieutenant Lycott did drop by earlier, so please go ahead. It's the fourth door on your right. Have a good day."
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
You too?
Hi.
And sure enough, as you guys enter the building itself, you get this sense of grandiosity because the ceiling above you is about in excess of 3 stories, but there's nothing above you, right? It's just all the way clear, 3 stories height, up to a pristine white ceiling that matches the pristine white walls that surround you. And sure enough, The third door on the right is a double sort of spruce uh, with a heavy lacquer on it set of doors and beautiful ornate gold doorknobs. Who's leading the charge into the office?
Do you guys
Think
want me
that
to
would-
check for traps?
No.
No.
Robin
I-
jokes, and he's like, "Maybe it's locked. You want me to get in on this?"
Nah,
my
I
God.
think we're good, dude. I think we
Sig-
might want Sailor and Dorbin
I'll-
to take
yeah,
the
I'll
front on this
be-
one.
Mm.
I'll be
Team
okay.
hashtag
to
diplomats.
I will let Solera take lead, and I will just be on her outsider. As
I
usually-
will look around the room and see if I see something.
Sigus will stand in front of Red.
So, Red, since you're
Wait, I
looking
won't
at
be able to see if you do that.
Red, are you wanting to look into the room once you guys go in, or are you just checking out
yeah.
the hall
Well,
that you're in?
He'll check out the hallway and just kind of like
Sure.
look around,
Yeah.
mainly because he's a little bit bored and he recognizes that he probably won't be talking to this dude very much.
Sure. I mean, as I mentioned, the sort of spaciousness of the building is a little bit wonky because it's very, very tall. But there doesn't seem to be the usage of the space doesn't seem to be optimized, right? It sort of has a single set of doors on the main ground level, and there, high above you, there's a sort of walkway that only takes up a small amount of the width of this hallway, and there's the second set of doors above you.
So this is a Dishonored building then.
If you mean the game Dishonored, it's sort of.
Yep.
It's one of those extremely high buildings that have.
That has a catwalk in the ceiling for no reason.
No. It's not that there's a catwalk on the ceiling. It's that. So imagine they're essentially using double height rooms, and the hallway
okay, I
is
get what
like
you're saying
triple
now.
width. It's like as if it had been built by giants, or for giants. Um, Aside from that, you do see that there is quite a bit of activity going on right now. It's sort of rush hour essentially. There's a lot of people wearing fine clothes, going about their business, and they're all carrying different amounts of tomes and scriptures. And most of them look like scholars, but you do spot here and there someone who's a little bit more refined and walking a little bit slower. And you do spot that sort of gait that you expect from a nobleman, and every now and then you do spot here and there someone who has the telltale signs of a crooked person, sort of walking around in handcuffs, being escorted by a guard, being led into a room, and they're sort of looking around. You can tell that they sort of cross eyes with you, and they're sort of looking around to see how they can get out of this, to no avail. But yeah, that's what you see in the day-to-day basis of the halls of justice.
Interesting. I didn't realize they'd actually process prisoners in here. Luckily, I never ended up in here.
Yep.
Kind of thinking to himself out loud. Yeah.
Yeah, so-
I'll be away from my computer for a second, so I'm just gonna drop the perception check for in the room.
Sure, go ahead and do that. In the meantime, rest of the party. Oh wow. Rest of the
Nope.
party. Who's leading then? Salera.
Yes,
Yes.
Solera is.
All right. Salera, you open up the door, turn on this beautiful golden handle, and as you push the door open, you see that there's sort of a small-ish room with a desk. There's a lady behind the desk, and you see that the rest of the room is sort of decorated with several sofas, pots with plants, and the walls have been covered from end to end in books. And there's a second set of doors behind the desk, and the lady, seeing you enter, says, "Hello, welcome to Justice Ironbrier's office. If you could wait a moment, I'll let him know that you have come for the station. What's your name?"
Silera Sunrise?
Okay. It's. Are you all as one group of 8?
Yes.
Okay. Just one moment. And she stands up, goes into the office, closes the door behind her, and you are left
And
alone for
I
a few moments.
I just kind of like to wow. It's okay that I know you and Ruben are. It's okay that I limit you with us.
That's all right. That's all right.
Get us in the door and then go from there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we will follow your lead.
Okay.
Robin, well, when the person leaves the room, Robin sort of just like has his back to the big fancy doors, and he just like wrist sheaths his thieves' tools out, and he tries to like take off a doorknob for fun, just to see if he could steal it. He won't,
Sure.
but he'll do it just to see if he can.
Actually, just
If
bear in
he
mind,
sees that.
your wrist sheath would have been requested to be left behind. So if you wanted to keep that, you would have needed a sleight of hand at the time.
No, if they wanted them, well, I would have had to take the any tool out of one of them anyways. So I would have just, if they asked, I would have taken them off.
So everything that was like tools or anything that could be used to harm another person, you guys were requested to leave behind, essentially.
But they let me in the building.
Yep, they let you in because they don't know you're a martial artist.
Yep.
Yeah. So you guys are left alone in this room to wait for a couple moments. And sure enough, a couple the moment goes by and the door opens up. You see the woman come out again and says, "All right, Justice Ironbright will see you now." And she sits down at her desk.
Thank you. And we will head in.
Yeah. Sure enough, on the other side of the doors, as you walk in, the room is a lot darker than the sort of waiting area that you were a moment ago. And standing in front of a rather massive set of windows with the drapes sort of half closed, their silhouettes sort of illuminated by the light coming through from behind, is a tall, heavily armored, and in a way that is almost ceremonial garbs, elf. And he sort of turns around to look at you, and you see the room is sort of darkened because of the drapes. But you can tell there are books just covering the entirety of the walls from floor to ceiling. And there doesn't seem to be any kind of other sort of point to the furniture. As the man sort of turns to look at you. Good day. I welcome you to Magnamon. I'm Justice Ironbriar.
Thank you very much.
Please.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Pleasure is all mine. Now,
Probably should lead with your name, Sarah.
there is no need. I have been informed of your companionship as well as who will be leading this conversation. Now, if you could present your case as to why I should have you join the forces in these investigations.
Well, many of us. Or two, we for the past few months, Mayor in Sandpoint, very being lead investigator. Successful.
Hang on. Wait. Solera, you're cutting out for me real hard.
Yeah.
Of course I am.
I'm getting every other word. And I think it's your mic because it doesn't sound like it's your internet. Oh.
I'm good now.
Okay, you moved over to the other mic.
Yes.
Yeah, she's over here with me.
For
Okay.
now.
All right. Go ahead. You were saying that
do
you
want me to
had
start
been.
over?
No, I caught up to. We've been helping Mayor Deverin in Sandpoint. And you were
and have been pretty successful in some investigations and help that she had needed from us. And so when we heard about some of the events that were going on in Magnamar, we thought that we may be of assistance in seeing if maybe some of the things that might be happening in Sandpoint and in Magnamar might be connected, because there was also a murder that had occurred in Sandpoint. So I don't know if it's connected or if it's separate, but we would love to be a part of that investigation and assist you as best as we.
I can tell that you are keen on investigating. You have good intentions. However, I fail to see what expertise you would be bringing. You could share the kind of information, discovery that you may have made already. I would be perhaps more inclined to consider
Robin will
your
sort of
case.
tap Siler on the shoulder.
And I will turn to Robin.
May I?
After you.
All right. Greetings. So I'm Robin, now Brother Robin. I would just like to state that we were imperative in an investigation of what may or may not be coming an incredible threat to not just Sandpoint, Magnamar, but all of Varizia. And a detachment of clerics and paladins have been sent to this location, not necessarily at my request, but after explaining all of the information work that we and Robin gestures to everybody have done, they determined that it was imperative for them to go to this location, not only to verify what we have said, but also to provide support that we were unable to follow through with ourselves. They have more intricate capabilities with the divine and smiting evil.
He sort of looks you up and down, and you can tell that he has those sort of sharp, cold eyes that come from a aged, wizened time as an elf. He stares down at you for a couple seconds. Certainly, I can see how that would be commendable. However, reporting of danger and proper police work, he wouldn't say police work, but proper investigative work, quite different beasts.
Well,
have
if I may continue, I could highlight each of us individually.
If you could tell me a good reason why I should consider you capable of following on clue, or perhaps finding your own reasons to have come to Magnamar, perhaps would be much more inclined to say yes.
Robin, do you mind if I jump in here for a second?
Go ahead, Shorty.
Hi, I go by Red. Something that you may want to consider for the evidence department is through our investigations with Sandpoint, we were able to not only determine the source of a undead infestation in the city and deal with it, but which Robin's been referencing, but we also discovered that the source of that undead infestation left a trail that leads directly to Magnamar. We have hard, concrete evidence that references specific locations within your city relating to what we think are the spree of murders that have been committed within the city. Now, I recognize that that is just finding evidence, but we not only found that evidence, we have tracked down and eliminated several of the perpetrators already and brought others to justice. I think that kind of evidence and collection is exactly what you need to deal with these types of grisly situations.
And
as
on that point, if we do happen to get in danger, we can definitely hold our own.
Yes.
So, Brett, as you were speaking and you mentioned the trail that you have been following, he sort of put his hands together in front of his sort of lips, sort of doing the universal appreciation but also thinking pose. Very well. I can see you're quite capable then. I'd like to see this hard, concrete evidence that you have.
Sigus, were you keeping the note, or was Robin doing that?
I think Silera had it.
Oh,
I have
so
all
there.
of the documents in my pouch here, and I will take them out, and I will hand him. First, I'll hand him the notebook and then the letter.
I think the letter will be more directly related to
Yeah,
the
that's
evidence that I mentioned, but
I will just hand him the
both
letter
are good.
and let him review that, and then if he wants to see more, then he can certainly do.
Yeah, he's sort of his desk behind which he's standing is sort of in a raised platform, and he reaches down and sort of offers a hand to take the documents. And as he does, he sort of puts them on the table and starts to read through them very very slowly, very methodically. Curious, peculiar, but nonetheless are alarming. Very well. It is concerning that there is mention of Aldern in these letters. I have spoken to them but days ago.
Do you know their whereabouts? We would definitely like to speak with them if we are brought in on this.
Certainly. I think you have proven, at the very least, that you are capable of following a trail much better than severely concerning majority of the guards in this town. I will procure for yourselves passes and instructions to be followed while you investigate. However, I will require that the lot of you report directly to me or Lieutenant Lycott. Any
We can
major
certainly do that.
any major development or any findings that you make, please. I must insist that you bring them here to me first.
Is there a quick way to approach the building that won't get the entire?
Flash pass.
I will procure the passes for yourselves so that you may enter and leave specifically to reach me without being held at the checkpoint.
Perfect.
And reporting to Lycott is also effective in these cases, right? Just
Yes.
in case you're otherwise occupied.
If I am unable to be found, please report to Lycott. However, make an effort to report it directly to me. You will find that this venture, this little investigation being ongoing, is under my direct supervision.
Now, quick question, maybe a little personal, but are there locations that you frequent that we may be able to check in case of us finding some major development?
You'll find that most of my time is spent right here in my office. Should I not be here, then I'll be at my own home. I will see that my secretary gives you the address once you leave.
Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
And to not put down your guards at all. In fact, we are very unique individuals. And we are, I mean, the reason we are here today is we usually above the cut of everyone else. You have wonderful guards. Lykai is definitely one of the great ones.
Yes,
I concur.
I have seen his qualities for the past decade or so, ever since he was a child. Now, I will.
Real quick though, when he was talking about being reported to him directly, can I do like an insight check to make sure that it's all above board? Sinister underlying tone.
Sure. You can give me a sense motive.
I like how you said insight.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't get a good vibe of this gentleman just because of like the environment that you're currently in. At first, you sort of feel that sort of nefarious sensation, but as you look around a little bit more and focus on their face, they seem a little bit sort of under the weather. Like they are rather tired, and the darkness of the room seems to be accommodating for that. As to the fact that he's sort of calling you out to report directly to him, it seems like he's carrying himself with all the authority that he has.
All right.
Somebody has a migraine.
So, is he like a judge or is he like a police chief or are they the same?
I think the answer to that is yes.
The answer to that is yes.
Got ya.
He's a justice, which is
Mhm.
both a member of the sort of protectorate of the city, as well as a high judge.
Got ya.
There's nothing
Judge
above a
Dredd.
justice.
Got ya.
There-
Okay.
There's the justices, and then there's the high justice, which is the head of the justices, and that's about it.
Um, Sir, not to trouble you for too much more time, you've already gone out of your way to accommodate us, but should we coordinate with Lycott on significant points of the investigation so far, or do you have a summary of those?
You should talk to him. He will put you up to date.
Sounds good.
Perfect.
However, I would advise that you investigate your own findings first. I wish not to deter or take time from Lycott's time. His agenda seems to be quite packed.
Certainly, and that was the only reason I asked. We didn't want to waste time double-checking areas that he's already investigated.
Well, I would suggest that you start off with checking on the Foxglove home.
Yeah, I'm certain that the guard doesn't have that lead, so we can definitely take that.
Yeah.
Definitely. And there's these marked individuals we can also follow up on.
Mm-hmm.
Take the notebook back, but I will keep this letter. Wish to investigate it further.
Siggis, you made a copy of that, right?
I don't know if I made a copy. I think we made copy. Like we have all the information written down, but it's not like a photo.
Word for word.
Yeah.
Like the
and-
word for it is written down because we were gonna hand it over to somebody, but we don't have like handwriting. It's just written in like Siggis's handwriting.
Yeah, as long as we have the information written, I don't think the blood
that's
stains are
pretty much
important.
what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Very well. Here, these will serve as letters of introduction and rites of passage It will identify you as temporary members of the Protectorate. And he hands you a pile of paper. That seems to be the same thing written over and over, and it bears the sigil of the Halls of Justice of Magnamore.
Sweet.
Thank you.
No, please. There's nothing else that you need to ask. Remove yourselves from my office.
One quick thing. Tell us the location of the most recent.
The most recent murder.
That way we can kind of pick up there if we don't catch any Foxwood.
Certainly. I believe the last one I was informed of was in the Low Cleft neighborhoods, somewhere close to the marketplace.
Sure thing. All right. Well,
So I will let you know before you depart at the rate at which these murders have been occurring. I would expect another one or two to have occurred by now.
all right. I may have stopped one last night, so we'll see.
Good. Now, you have work to do, and so do I.
Sounds good. Thank you so
You're
much
the
for
man.
your time.
Everybody get the fuck out.
Oh, Robin, before we go, you might want to describe the individual that you ran into. I don't know if he's gotten descriptions of the perps yet.
Oh man, I'd really love to. I don't have my magic items though. They're basically just. I mean, they just look like thieves. Really, not much else to say. So.
Were they wearing
okay.
fanciful orange and black robes?
Just black cloaks to conceal their presence, pretty much, and face paint so that they wouldn't be detected in the dark, and like little speckles, or not even necessarily speckles, but radiance of some warmer colors to blend in with torchlight. They're basically wearing stealth gear.
I thought you had mentioned orange stripes.
Yeah, the orange, decals
Yes,
or
it
whatever.
is the same description we have gotten from the few witnesses.
Yeah, I managed to scare one off just west of here, actually, early this morning. He was on the rooftops, and I managed to send a couple guards chasing after him west. I did sort of have to deceive them, but we'll not talk about that part because they thought I was the culprit. Anyways, they took off after him. I don't know what happened after that.
I commend you for your efforts and initiative. Right, as I mentioned, I would recommend that you start work on following those trails.
Absolutely.
Sounds good. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Better.
Yeah. And with that, you guys sort of slowly walk out of the office. And you do have 8 permits, so each person, including Grigori, Simon, and Ruben, can have the permits for investigation.
Out of character question.
Yes, go ahead.
When we were walking the previous evening and saw the blood on an item of clothing, where was that located?
Somewhere within the capital district.
Okay, that's what I thought, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
It was in an alley off one of the main roads.
Right.
There was
I thought we dug through it a little bit and couldn't find anything.
Right. But I was just curious where. Okay.
So the piece of clothing that you found was reminded you of a scarecrow's attire, essentially.
Right.
And there were some branches that were shaped like the arms of a scarecrow.
I just wasn't sure if it was the capital district or if it was.
It was within the capital district because you guys were going. You were walking the fine line between Naus and the capital district, and it was on that road that you found it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yep. But yeah, you guys sort of leave the office and sort of I don't know if when you guys are sort of stopping to talk or address what you guys are doing next, but as soon as you guys are out of the main building, Grigori will sort of look around and says, "Well, this is all good, but I think I was talking to Simon and Ruben. Uh, I believe I will be helping them with investigation of personal affairs.
Sounds good.
Sounds great.
But if you need help,
Hey.
we can reconvene at Crimson Raven tonight.
Sure
Sounds
thing.
Yeah.
I was just gonna recommend. Siler, I couldn't help but overhear. You're talking about that guy in the bookstore. I mean, you guys are three people, and if you need an extra pair of hands, maybe you could talk to him for some help with Silera's, I don't know, good word.
Huh.
Apparently, he remembers literally all three of us. So
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. I just
But
was
yeah, it can hurt.
reminiscing old friends, kind of.
Yeah.
But also note that you may want to your investigation hush hush. You don't know. Side.
Yeah, you could just ask him for a favor and not necessarily include him directly in the investigation.
Yeah, if you need to get in somewhere or something, I'm sure.
Also, be careful on what you. I mean, he is not part of this at all.
Yeah.
So we ask something.
What time is it?
It's middle of the afternoon, so like 4 p.m. by now. Because you guys had a late start, you had to walk all the way to the. Well, no, you took a cart all the way to the capital district, and you still had to wait before you could get in. So.
Well, do you guys want to try and head over to the Foxcliff Manor? With these writs, we should be able to stay out late and it won't matter.
Yep, sounds like a plan to me.
So yeah, I agree with that as well.
I'm a little hesitant for obvious reasons.
To jump right in.
I think the thing that was after you was specifically the one that, well, killed me and then you guys killed it. Like, I feel that was not Foxglove himself. I feel that just may have been whatever that thing was.
Tell you what. I won't scout ahead, and I'll stand beside you, and I'll be a personal guard. How's that sound?
Deal.
Ooh, paladin as a personal guard. That's pretty fancy.
I mean, I'm not a paladin yet.
Well, you took the oath.
Iomedae just kind of looked at me and was like, "Yeah, you're okay."
Hey, I mean that's more than
okay.
Yeah.
Got 2 swords now, which is dope.
I do indeed.
I mean, I think going through the acceptance make you gain
Yeah.
Yet.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
We're
just
of the order of paladins of Iomedae.
Yeah, I'm basically a squire acolyte hybrid.
Yep.
That is sort of getting thrusted up the ranks.
From what I understand of paladinship, you're a squire.
Yeah.
You're a squackolite.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not calling you that.
That's perfect. I'm using that.
Yep.
Speculate.
Dorbin hates it.
I'd rather just call you a squirt.
No, that's red.
red.
You gotta call red.
That's it.
The rain has arrived, my dudes.
The rain.
All right, so guys, where are you headed next, or what is exactly that you're planning
I
to
think
do?
we go to the Foxglove Manor.
Yeah, we're going to wherever the heck the
address.
Foxgloves are.
Yeah.
Hold
Or
on.
do we-
First, we need
no,
to
do
talk
we-
to the secretary to get the address.
Yes.
For this guy's house.
That's
Yeah.
a good way.
Yeah.
And
So
then we should decide if we're gonna like kick in the door or if we're gonna like
Yeah.
watch
So-
the place.
yeah, so when you guys came out, the secretary would have already had a little piece of paper with the address written out and would have handed it to you. You suspect that she was probably listening in on the conversation going on, but she did sort of hand in the address, and it states that it's within the Alabaster district. It gives you the street and the house number.
Well, we can't fuck that one up.
Yeah.
Well,
We
I
can
mean,
try.
give us a minute here.
I mean, we don't know where the street is technically, but I'm sure we could ask our.
Yeah,
I
we'll
mean,
figure it out.
We're probably about to do with the.
we're pretty close to the Alabaster district right now. Actually, if we just head over to that main road, we'll cross right
Where's-
into it.
Where's the where's Aldern's place located? Where's that address?
Pretty high up to the north, outside of the citadel, but still quite close to it. To the south of the horse races area.
Right.
So like up
Okay.
here.
Yeah,
Sounds
thereabouts.
about right.
Also, the Alabaster district. Interesting.
I mean, he's a noble. Well,
Yeah.
it would make sense.
Yeah.
All nobles live.
Yeah. All right.
It's definitely got the nicest view in Magnamar up on the hill, looking out over the sea. You can see why all the nobles built up here.
You can see why. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess. I mean, Grigori, Simon, Ruben, you guys have been standing in line for like 2.5 hours. So if you guys want to like go get some food or something and like chill, like you guys can do that. But we're gonna go up there just so you know where we are.
Yes.
Oh, and Greg,
the idea was to rest up and then head to my relatives' home to investigate what the surrounding situation was.
Where is that?
That's within the Naus district.
The Naus district?
Hmm.
Okay. All right. If you just let us know the address, and we can come find you if we need to. Or if you guys go missing, we'll know where you were last.
Certainly.
Keeping tabs on each other.
Yeah. Got
Certainly.
each other's back.
A signal you could use. I'm not sure if you have access ability to create light on a smoke signal of any sort. If we look in that direction, see issues, then help.
If I don't know if you have been to Magnamar before, but I do believe the guards do use fire signals, and that might
Slingers, yes.
yes, that might give off the wrong indication. But I do know a few magical methods of contacting you if need be.
Cool.
And also, for the record, the flares are red and they're set off by arrows. So if you want to use a different signal, don't use a red flare set off by an arrow.
they don't look like archers.
I mean, they're not really.
You don't know Ruben's life.
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, yeah, he could do a bow, but the other two don't look bowy.
Bowie.
Look, I'll have you know I've taken down undead from over 500 feet with longbow.
Oh,
I believe that.
Ooh, wrecked.
It was
believe
it was straight shot down, but there's still 500 feet.
Flare.
That
I
does
guess.
help. Grigori, I did want to mention when we were walking to the cathedral, there are several shops that might be of interest to you for replenishing your alchemical supplies. I mean, I know capital's pricey, but it looks like good stuff.
It is. I don't believe they will sell alchemical components that I have procured. I didn't produce them myself. They were gift from friend.
If you find yourself back in Sandpoint, you should talk to that bell guy.
I'll certainly keep it in mind then.
Oh yeah, he is good with muted or toxic
Alchemical
File-y
reagents.
stuff.
That's
Yes,
the word they
that.
look for. Yeah.
Literally what Grigori was just talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right.
Sorry, I just had a stroke.
We'll see each other
Reincarnation's a
tonight,
bitch.
but I suppose we should get through checkpoint or get our things back and start investigating.
For sure.
Yes.
Yes, my fingers are. I am not comfortable not having at least 3 knives on me.
You went to AFK.
Yeah.
Oh.
Is that why she can't hear?
Because you're not active.
What?
Yeah.
Because Heidi hasn't
Oh.
been talking to her. She got moved to
Yeah.
AFK.
We
Why
need
is she
to.
pretty quiet.
Yeah, we need to deactivate the AFK on Discord. because for this specific reason we should deactivate it. But yeah, so you guys sort of head back to the checkpoint. This time leaving. They return all of your items and sort of leave you a little bit of room to re-equip, sheath your weapons, and re-equip your magical items. And you're let out into the main road separating the Alabaster and the capital districts. And sort of Grigori, Simon, and Ruben sort of give you guys a nod, and sort of, all right, we'll see each other tonight if everything goes all right, sort of thing. And they're going to start heading south.
All right.
Right?
Well,
And
let's do
we're
it, guys.
going north, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'm doing mental math about how much time we have. Okay. Yeah, so you guys head up north to the northern end of the Alabaster district. And sure enough, between the map that Dorban has been keeping up to date and the address that you guys were given, it is quite easy to find your way to the Foxglove townhouse. However, as you guys are sort of deviating from the main road and going through the streets on the Alabaster district, you once more see that whatever is not immediately visible to the public, alleyways are sort of piling up with trash. You see here and there sacks and bags filled with trash just piling up on the alleyways. Um, and most of the houses have their street facing windows either boarded up or reinforced with some kind of gate, like an iron bar, an iron grate, or similar such devices. And when you arrive at your destination, you see there's a iron fence separating the street from the garden, and then at the opposite end of the garden, there is this three-storied house, which looks rather quaint, rather old, wooden and stone mostly. Sorry, wood and stone make the base level of the house, whereas the rest of the house seems to be mostly wood and clay, as you see the sort of really nice terracotta shinglings at the rooftop. And there's a sort of a tool shed on one side of the garden that seems to also be locked up. The windows seem to have been boarded up from the inside, which blocks any kind of sight into the house that you might have had. And the iron gate at the front, separating the property from the street, seems to be not only closed but also chained with the lock on the inside of the property.
Well, they don't want visitors.
Stop up.
No, definitely not. But what do you guys think our approach should be? Should we be trying to make ourselves known here? Like, I mean,
think
we have the
I think
law on our side.
I think it makes sense to like at least spend a day just like watching it. I don't know. Right? Like if we go in and the person and we don't catch everyone red-handed and wrap this all up, right? They'll know we're on to them. Whereas
Oh
I
my
think it
God.
makes
Stakeout.
yes.
I just don't want
Yes.
murders to keep happening in the meantime, right? Because if we're letting them go about their business and not chasing them and forcing them to make mistakes, they'll just keep killing people.
We also have
That's
to be smart about it, though.
Also,
we
that
have this
takes
fucking
into
city that
consideration
goes,
that they
"Yeah."
haven't already had somebody stationed outside like the official's house or official's building, scoping out who goes in and out, what business they have. They could easily have the secretary be one of the people that spying for them on who's part of the investigation and not.
Or anyone in what the lieutenant's organization that are working for him. If any of them are turncoats, then they'll know about us if he's mentioned it.
Okay, so
I say we openly pursue them.
okay, I hear ya. Is there any like middle ground? Like, is there a way that we could take like 20 minutes and try and check them out via magic? Do you have any, or like an hour if you can prepare any spell to? I know you can see through doors, but is there something?
I'll keep an eye on Silera. I can scout it.
I was gonna say Robin's our best bet if we're just wanting to do a clandestine visit with minimal traces. But if he gets in trouble, then we need the gate to be open at least so that we can get in.
Yeah.
I mean, I can just pick that now.
Well, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It kind of leading to that. If we want to try and do what Sigus is saying, the rest of us watch out here and see if we see anyone looking suspicious around the area, and you sweep the interior and make some noise if we need to come and help you.
Also, what's the deal? Like, if even though we have a badge, especially given the current state of the world, does that like how corrupt is this city with like if we're with the police we could just do what the fuck we want?
Warrants are a thing, I'd imagine.
Yes.
However, they're still investigating. They are still dying, and know how to get shit done. So
fair.
You
we're
also
not technically directly affiliated. We just have permission to investigate alongside.
You essentially were given verbal confirmation from a judge that you were allowed to investigate the Foxglove Manor specifically.
Yeah, I just wanted to know, like, if we like break into a house and
it would still be a crime.
It's like,
I guess you need to calm down because the entire point of me existing is that I break into houses and I don't get caught.
I wasn't saying like we shouldn't do it. I just wanted to know where we stood so that we should know if we could like stand if we see a guard or if we would need to run away.
Man, I'm a really bad influence on you. Okay, I'm not saying we shouldn't break into the house. That's what
I just want to think about this for a long time before I'd make a decision.
You do like thinking. That is true.
I do.
So I'm gonna go break into the house while you think about it. How's that sound?
Shit, I hate this the most.
Robin, I think you made a good point about the judge giving us express permission. At this point, why not just head in with you? I mean, we can keep an eye out, I guess, if we want to, but it might also be worthwhile after we break in, staking out and seeing if someone comes to check on the place afterwards.
You guys, if you want, can knock on the front door while I go in the back or window. Probably a window.
Third floor window, knowing you.
I say we all just go in together.
Okay.
I'm fine with that.
I'm gonna send Korax around to let us know if anyone flees the building, to follow them and follow them into where they go.
Perfect. And I can also sprint after them if you want me to nab them.
Okay.
Well, I mean, assuming they don't get away before we see them, but yes.
If we want to forego the knowledge of scouting, we can just go up and be civil about it.
Yeah.
I don't think we're being civil. I think we're just going in.
No, we're gonna be civil about it.
Oh, are we being civil? Okay, never mind.
So, yeah, if you walk in the front door, you be civil about it. I'm gonna be honest. That's how that works.
Or we're gonna knock, see if anybody replies. Then no one replies. And
Go with Plan B. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, home is empty, and then we can continue our investigation, knowing that.
Yes. Okay.
All right. So Corvax, I will just point out, Corvax does take off and goes to perch himself atop the very sort of frontmost, topmost area of the rooftop above the house, and is from there sort of looking around and can see the entirety of the gardens and the street.
Awesome. I'm gonna cast Detect Magic and just have that ongoing.
All right.
And you're blinded.
Nope.
Fuck.
You don't immediately detect any magic in the front gate or the garden.
Awesome.
They might have had magic plants. You never know.
Now you do.
Well, yes, now we do.
So what's your approach to get into the house, or at least to the house? Because right now you're on the street, and there's a fence separating you from the house.
I think we might want to get Robin to let us through the gate.
Yeah, like is it chained up, or
It's it's chained up, and the lock, it's sort of a padlock. It's on the inside of the gate, so it's clear that somebody locked it from the inside, or took the time to make it look like it was closed from the inside. One or the other.
I mean, regardless, I can get over that fence like it's nothing. So if I need to pick it from the other side, I'll pick it from the other side.
Sure. I mean, you can. It's not taut enough that you couldn't turn the chains. You can just sort of pull on the chains and get the padlock to be on the outside.
Is there any way to contact the residents from the street? Rope or bell or anything like that?
There would be a. Oh, that's a very good question. It's a very good question. Medieval times.
Wouldn't there
there would probably be.
There's a guard, isn't there?
Normally, you would have a guard, but it's clear that the people are not available to keep guards at the homes right now. There would be though a rope that is sort of connected from the front gate and goes to like the side of the house, and it looks like it probably rings a bell from there.
Ding ding.
Yeah, we can start by ringing the bell. See what happens.
Yeah.
Right, you hear the ding 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 ding, sort of very muted coming from the house. You don't see anything happening, at least not immediately.
Can we listen for a second to hear if we hear anything moving around?
Sure.
Give me. You guys keep an eye out.
Yeah, if you're keeping an eye out and trying to listen, give me a perception check.
Nope.
Jesus.
Red.
Damn. That fucking whiplash I'm getting from natural 1 to natural 20.
Yeah, damn.
Alright, Dorban, you sort of catch, after the ringing of the bell, there's sort of a slight whisper of someone like probably having a conversation at normal volume inside of the house. And then you hear a couple footsteps and the click as the door is being opened, and there's just like a door just ever so slightly ajar, and you can tell that someone is sort of sticking their face to the tiny opening in the door to like see what's going on, and then you see the door sort of close again. And it's hard to tell if you were seen or not. Robin,
when I saw the person looking, I would have waved.
Okay.
Get their attention.
Yeah, it was sort of like it opens. You see them place their face against it. Like, okay, you wave. The door closes, and doesn't seem like they reacted to waving at them. It was a very short window of opportunity, and you sort of almost didn't catch it. Robin, you sort of very quickly try the lock, and it feels like it's not very hard. It's a rather simplistic lock, and it clicks open, and you can remove the chains with ease. Sorry.
So I'm guessing based off your waving that you saw someone there, Darbin?
Yeah, somebody opened the door real quick, peeked out, and then immediately shut the door again.
Do you want to try knocking on the door and saying that we have a writ and that we're investigating, or do you just want to go after them because this is suspicious already?
Or we could ring again.
I would say let's wait like 5 to 10 minutes, because it's possible that they were not dressed properly, not expecting company, obviously. Blocking the gate, give them a little bit to. You have to play whatever that they're doing inside, and then if they continue not to come out, we can ring again, wait another 10 minutes, and then enter.
May I posit a theory that if it's Aldern, right? that we're expecting to be here, Aldern or his wife
Oh.
or someone.
Aldrin's dead.
No, we killed
Yes, someone.
ghoul that looked like Aldern and was wearing his faces with the stalker mask. We didn't kill Aldern.
Yeah, we expect this place to be filled
Oh.
with evil.
Yeah. I mean, Dorvin, like, I'm gonna stick my dick in it.
Well, my only worry is that they're gonna get away in a tunnel under the house or something.
They also know that we're here, so
I mean, if they got away in a tunnel underneath their house, it's unlikely that we will find the passage quick enough to be able to chase them.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if we wait or go in there right now.
Robin, why don't you kind of, or were you already sending Korak to kind of scout
He's
there?
He's
he's
on the
just
roof.
up above
Okay.
to see if anyone flees.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Which is why I feel comfortable waiting, because if they flee in sight, that we have a possibility of chasing. Corvax will catch it, hopefully.
So as you guys are sort of planning and discussing the alternatives, the door opens up again, and you see a finely dressed gentleman who you immediately recognize as being Alden Foxglove pop out, and they wave at you guys and goes, just one more moment. I wasn't expecting visitors. Just hold on, friends. And they go back inside, and you see them sort of bring out a large ring of keys, and they're gonna like start to shuffle through them very quickly as they're walking.
also magical at all?
Sorry, what was that, Robin?
I'm just gonna, as you know, Aldern's getting his keys. I just whisper to Sigus because he was detecting magic, and would be like, "Does he look magical at all?"
I don't know.
Say as you sort of look in their direction, they don't immediately ping as being magical.
I don't see anything. Yet.
Robin
I'm gonna
padlock and flicks it back to the other side.
I'm gonna quickly cast Detect Undead.
And I want to sense motive.
All right. Give me a sense
I want
motive.
1,000 GP.
You don't get that, but Solera, give me a sense
Damn
motive. Dorbian, you don't detect undead. And like as you guys are sort of moving your hands and casting spells, he sort of like stops, looks at you guys a little bit strange, and like he turns around to see if there's something behind him, and then turns back to you. Like,
I'll be like, sorry, I'm just taking care of. We had a long journey and we haven't had a chance to properly bathe, so I was just making sure that we all smell nice.
Okay. And like he rushes over from the house, and he's wearing what you recognize as being not boots, but rather in-house sort of slippers. And he's rushing from the house to the gate, unlocks the padlock, pulls the chains, and sort of doesn't quite unwrap them completely, but pulls the gates open and says, please, friends, it's been a long time since I managed to see you. I'm glad that I'll be finally able to repay you for saving my life. Please, come on in. It's best that we don't tarry. I would rather not be out in the streets. Please.
You got it, brother.
Also, does my Detect Undead ping at all?
Nope.
What
Right.
Do I sense any motives?
He seems quite. He's facetious in the sense that he is being over the top. But that is sort of noble etiquette that you should appear as open to having guests as possible at all times. And
Know
he
that
sort of
one.
he sort of ushers a lot of you in before closing the gates.
I don't believe I've had the pleasure. Aldern, I take it.
Yes, name's Aldern. I don't believe I have had the pleasure either. Please, will your name is?
I go by Red, but Deader if you want the full name.
Well, Data. It's a pleasure to meet you. Please, if you're friends with Solera and Robin, you're friends of mine. Please head on in. I'll join you in just a moment. My wife is preparing some tea for us, so it'll take just a moment. Closes the gate behind you guys.
Question out of character.
Yes.
The Revenant. Who was that again?
We didn't confirm, but out of all the possibilities, it looked most like Aldrin's wife.
Yeah.
Okay.
But she was tearing her face apart, so there's no way to tell.
Just something that I wanted to keep in mind.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is why we have detect magic and detect undead going right.
Yep.
And all the sense motives.
Mm-hmm.
So as he sort of locks the padlock again and sort of tries to run with you guys, like he's not straight out running, but he's sort of almost jogging to try and get back into the house as fast as possible. He leads the way in, unlocks the door, opens up, and sort of gestures for you guys to walk in. And the thing is, as you walk in, because you did say that you wanted to hold the detect magic, you do detect a slight bit of magic affecting the pieces of fruit, the sort of fruit bowl that is on the sort of reception desk or table as soon as you enter the house.
Got it. I'm going to try and identify it, though I am imagining it's something that keeps fruit fresh.
Sure, you can give me a spellcraft check.
Or it's a minor illusion to make it look not rotten.
Or to make it look like there's actually fruit in there when there's not fruit.
We'll
Poison magic.
Yeah.
I'll give you.
Same way,
All right. You detect the whatever's affecting the fruit bowl. It is of the school of illusion.
Okay.
Yep.
Fake fruit.
Yep.
Or covering
Literally
up
fake
something
fruit.
else in the bowl.
Yeah. You do get a sense of like as soon as you walk in, there's a little bit of an acrid smell, like like something has gone off, and it seems to be emanating from the fruit.
Got ya.
But he sort of gestures for you guys to walk in and make yourselves comfortable, and closes the door and sleep. It's been a long time, really. I wasn't expecting you to come visit, but I'm glad that you took up my offer of having some time together. I was still heartbroken when we couldn't have a little bit of a hunt after the events in Sandpoint. Please, if you'd follow me, the waiting room is just upstairs. We'll have some drinks, some tea. I do have a bottle of dragon whiskey that I've been dying to open up for such a special occasion.
Oh my god, is it Dracus Black?
100% done.
Do you mind if I grab a piece of fruit? I am absolutely famished.
I wouldn't recommend it. It's more so decorative than anything else.
Okay.
Is that what that smell is?
No, that would be the durian at the bottom.
Durian.
Ew. Okay, I will pass on the stinky fruit. Thank you.
You don't like durian?
By the way,
What is a durian?
Oh, it's like the stinkiest fruit in the world.
Yes, fruit, yeah.
It's a fruit that smells like rotting flesh, to be honest.
Yeah.
It smells like somebody died a week ago.
Yeah.
It's the same chemical that you get in rotting whale meat.
Yeah.
It looks like a spiky kiwi.
Yeah,
Yep.
I googled it. There's a lot of
Yeah, me too.
weird
Yeah.
short YouTube videos. All right,
Yeah.
I'll look into that later.
You
Yeah.
can get them in the supermarket sometimes.
Yeah.
I've never seen them sold, but whatever. Anyways.
It's because
Okay.
if you do see them being sold, it's probably in a very isolated place because you don't want to have the smell of durian anywhere near anything else.
That's
the,
fair, I
Or
didn't think of
outside.
the ones that I've seen have been wrapped in about 3 layers of plastic.
Yeah, sometimes they do
Sounds
that.
about
Yeah.
right.
But yeah, he says that would be durian, I'm afraid. I'm not a particular fan, but Aisha does enjoy her exotic fruits.
I am with you on that, my good man.
Yeah.
Also, you have an incredible house here. What a place.
I'm well aware. Yes, it's been in our family for decades, centuries actually. Well,
This
just
house?
over a century. Sorry.
This house?
Yes, this house has been. I believe it is now 120 or 130 years old.
Oh wow. So was that your grandfather then?
Great grandfather, in fact, was the one
Great
who built.
grandfather.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Please follow me upstairs. I'll show you where we can sit down and have a little bit of a more relaxed talk. And he'll sort of gesture and sort of lead you to the stairs on one side of the house.
Can as he's leading us across, and I'm sure other people want to do this. Do you mind if we do some quick glancing around, since we're
Yeah.
admiring the architecture anyway?
Yeah. Exactly what I was gonna say.
Sure, you can give me perception checks to see you're walking through the house.
I don't trust this mofo.
Oof.
That's
Yikes.
rough.
I mean, Robin's basically just gonna be casing the joint.
Hey, Siggin
I-
is
Wow.
Nice.
I don't think I've rolled over a
God.
like.
What the fuck? Everyone but Sigis. What the fuck? Okay,
And I
so
come through
I haven't rolled
unexpectedly.
over a 6 today.
yeah, so as you guys are walking through, you're sort of looking around. Like there's too many things that are sort of catching your attention. There's like a tiki mask over one of the sort of portals to get from one room to another that doesn't seem to have any doors. It's sort of just the frame. And there's the tiki mask on top of it, but there was also like a bust of a gentleman on one corner, and nothing really like connects with another thing. It's a little bit disparaged, but the main elements of the different rooms are very sort of traditional. Like there's the main sort of dining room table and fancy chairs. There's a small library on one room. There's another small library in another room. You walk past the side of both the kitchen and a small study room that seems to have two armchairs side by side, a small table between the two of them with two mugs of that are empty right now, and there's a pair of books sort of piled up in that same table. Um, and you do hear Sigis. This is you're the only one that catches this. You hear a woman sort of humming to herself as she is working in the kitchen, moving about in behind closed doors.
Okay.
And as you guys sort of head up to the second floor, Aldrin sort of turns to the left immediately after coming up to the landing, and gestures to the main sort of dining table and slash sort of um billiards room kind of thing, where there is a large table, look, glass cabinet, where there is a massive bottle of this sort of dark amber liquid, and the rest of the room is rather tranquil, with the exception that there's the faint smell of cigar in the air. It says, "Well, please take a seat. Take a seat. Make yourselves at home. Um, I wouldn't have it any other way. You're my saviors, after all. Um, I'm afraid I see it's only Seller and Robin are here. What happened to my other saviors and friends?"
Mm,
Unfortunately, they were slain by an evil entity in the north.
Yep.
there's, yeah, a very large demon.
There was
Is-
some significant unpleasantness in Sandpoint that we've rooted out.
Terrible business.
Yeah.
You see him sort of as he's talking. He opens up the glass cabinet, pulls out several glasses. Sigus, you as you're sort of looking around, you do see that he sort of takes out 5 glasses and then adds 2 more to the total set, and brings out the large bottle. And he starts pouring. It says, "Well, I think then we should drink to their memory. I haven't been able to properly thank them for saving me, after all. If you don't mind, I would like to offer a toast to them."
Absolutely.
I would like to see the 2 glasses that he pulled separately. Did I follow who got those ones? Or are they the same glasses? Are they different?
They all seem to be the same kind of glass.
Okay.
The 2 glasses that came afterwards are on the far right, and then there's the other 5 are to the left.
I would
Got it.
ask if it's all right if I maybe bless these drinks for us.
Yes, just let me open up the bottle first. It's a little bit of a special drink. Um, just pay attention. I've been dying to break the seal on this one. He grabs a.
What did you say it was called?
It's dragon whiskey.
Mm.
You'll see in just a moment. And like the bottle itself has a little bit of a design where there's like a dragon made out of glass of clawing its way up to the neck of the bottle. And as he starts to break the seal with a sort of letter opener, sort of takes a moment, lets the silence of reign in the room, grabs the top, and pop. And as he pops the stopper on the top, you hear the roar of a dragon spread through the room and echo through the house. It's like, yes,
Whoa.
yes, finally, I get to open that bottle. I've been dying to try that.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie.
That is phenomenal.
That was amazing.
How the heck does that work?
I
Magic.
do have a quick out of character question.
Yes.
Would I know if purified food makes alcohol into water?
Yes, because alcohol is a poison.
Maybe
Alright.
don't do that.
Oh, I see what you're trying to do.
I was
will
gonna
cast
detect.
it on the glasses, not the drink, before he pours it. And that'll be my quote unquote blessing.
Yeah.
Dorbin, before we bless the drinks and everything, I don't know that. Do we want to impose that upon Aldrin? Like, I don't know if he would appreciate, or if we would want to bless his, and I'm assuming his wife's going to come up and visit as well. Like, they may hold different customs.
I mean, that's why I asked if it was okay first, and then he said it was all right.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
I don't
okay.
see any problem with it. I would recommend that if your idea is to remove toxins, that you avoid doing that. I would rather enjoy the drink as it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
As somebody who
Yeah.
drinks and is a clear, I know not to cast this purifying alcohol, ruin the entire experience, and I would rather not just drink water.
Good.
So I would continue to cast it, but not target the bottle, but just the glasses. So
Sure. Roll for me
And then
the spell, because I can't remember what it actually does. Purify. What is it? Food and drinks.
yeah,
I think it only affects the food and the drink, unfortunately.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't do
Yeah,
the
you're
plate.
right.
I don't think it
Yeah.
does against poisons and
Yeah.
stuff too.
Oh no,
so-
it's a spell that makes spoiled, rotten, diseased, poisonous, or otherwise contaminated
Oh, awesome.
food and water pure and suitable for eating and drinking. So this
Yeah,
would not work. It would
it's
not work
great
on
for
an object.
poisoned rations and stuff
Yeah.
like that,
Yeah.
but it
Or things
does
that
not
would
work
fade.
for if someone poisons your knife, then you're just fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, you are correct. So I would not cast that. And I would just
YOLO.
do like a general just blessing of the meal.
Yeah, you pray to Abadar to bless the drinks that you're about to have. You see Aldrin sort of pour each of these sort of shot glasses with a dose of this dragon whiskey, and when he pours it, you see the amber color of the drink sort of brightens up as it falls, and then as it sort of becomes still in the glass, it darkens again. Um, and he sort of puts a glass in front of each of you and leaves two, one in front of him and one to his side. And he sort of looks around and says,
Sigus is gonna say, I will pass, but thank you very much.
I'll
I.
take this.
Oh, oh, if you care to enjoy it, please go ahead. I would be heartbroken for you to miss this wonderful opportunity, Sigis. It is a once in a lifetime. I'll admit. It is not always that you can get this drink. Takes as the word goes, though I'm not certain it is quite as true as they say. It takes 500 years in it and can only be brewed by a dwarven hands.
I do not doubt that it is absolutely spectacular, and I certainly hope that you and my companions enjoy. But today, I will not be partaking, and I hope you will understand and respect that.
Certainly.
Your loss is Dorban's gain.
Mm.
So-
Indeed.
He is a dwarf. He does need twice as much. I've heard said.
He sure does.
If you'll excuse me, I do need to check on my wife. She seems to be delaying a little bit more than I had expected. It'll just be one moment. Please hold on enjoying the drinks until I come back. I'd like to see your reactions firsthand. He sort of takes off, goes downstairs.
No, we'll do immediately drink. It's
Oh, Robin, are you just doubling the dose on Dorvan's glass?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's
If it's a
Like,
glass, he'll
should
be able to
sip that.
see that.
You should start sipping that, bud.
What kind of glass is it? Is it glass or is it?
It's like a Scotch glass.
no, it's
I
smaller.
assume-
It's smaller than a Scotch glass. It's more
But
like
it's
a
clear.
Yeah, it's completely
Oh, it's
clear.
it's a whiskey snifter then.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a
sort of.
good chance that this is all fine. I just the last time we went to the Foxglove Manor, I probably shouldn't have eaten anything. So
I just want to
think-
point out that if I have to make a save against poison, I have like a 15 to that save, so I'll be
yeah.
I'm
not the-
dwarf. Like if it's poison, I don't give it. Like he's not.
Robin,
Yeah.
he expects us not to have consumed the beverages by the time he returns, and also it's quite obvious that you poured it into his glass.
Yeah, it'll be obvious that
out.
I will be drinking it. I'm not gonna drink. I'm not gonna sip any off of it, so that he understands that Robin's drink is.
And
Also, would that even fit? Him pouring another drink into
No,
Split it
no,
between
you
the
would
two.
you would
Oh,
know
okay.
no, you would know they
Like,
would
split it.
over
big tiny little glasses.
Whiskey snifters are like hold a little bit more than your average shot glass, like a couple shots in them, but
Yeah.
not much.
Yeah, but it's like he's poured it so that it's like a proper filling of it. It's not
He's given us a couple
Oh.
fingers already.
Yeah.
But whiskey aside, what's your game plan here?
I was just gonna talk to him until he gave up something or slipped up. Eventually, we're gonna have to talk to him about his other manor, and then something's gonna slide.
I would stop Robin from trying to pour his drink into mine, and I just grab his glass as well, and I'm just holding 3 glasses.
Here, Dorban, pass me one of those.
Well,
I'll
yeah,
just roll all 3. It's all right.
No, you should not have 2 of these. You'll die.
I'll just set mine on the yeah.
I mean,
I don't know if
there's
it
a
makes
table
sense.
nearby, Dorban, he would just set them on the table.
Oh
Yes,
wait,
I think that's a good
Dorban, can you purify both Sigus and Robin's?
I
It would
don't
look
do
like
that.
water.
Yeah, it would look like
No,
water.
oh,
That's why I was
really?
asking if it was clear or not.
And I would never waste this kind of alcohol like that.
Yeah, don't
Mhm.
ask a dwarf to do that. That shit's fucked up, man.
That's
Alright.
like condemning my god.
Yeah, that's not okay.
Okay, I just on the off chance that this is poisoned, which
And
seems
I'm pretty
likely.
confident that even if he is trying to poison he wouldn't want to poison me. He wants me.
Like
I don't
he's
think
either
he
a
would use
fool-
that to poison somebody.
Yeah, I also think like if we think his wife is dead, like who's in the kitchen?
Yeah, well, that was
We'll
my
find
other
out.
question. I'm pretty sure
People
that
can remarry, guys.
Real quick.
I'm pretty sure that this is going to fall apart quickly under scrutiny, which is
Gaia.
why I thought it was probably prudent not to have us, even if it's just alcohol, under the influence.
Mhm.
I'm
Also,
really
I've got
hoping
this
that she
whole like
comes out.
acolyte thing going on. I don't know how drunk I can get, so I'm just chill until I know what's going on. I'm supposed to like look good all the time, which I do, but not when I get sloppy drunk. So
Debatable.
The guy with scars and tattoos all over his face looks good.
tattoos, no scars. I'm flawless
Scars was
otherwise.
red.
Yeah.
Right. So as you guys
I couldn't
are
remember if it was tattooed or scarred into his face.
no, it's tattooed, and it's like not really tattooed. It's like it's there. It's only
just
the
like my skin is that color.
yeah. It's sort of like a natural skin coloration kind of thing. But yeah, as you guys are sort of chit chatting and like trying to keep it low, you do hear Aldrin start to come up the stairs. Says, I told you not to take too many glasses at once. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Just put a smile on your face, darling. And you see him come in, holding a tray with several mugs and like pots with like glass jars filled with different colors of sugar. And he puts down the tray, and right behind him comes in a beautiful sort of tanned skinned woman in this sort of rather revealing dress, like a low cut dress. And she's sort of smiling, and she's also bringing a tray, but this time with a pot and several different tiny containers that you imagine are teas. She gives a smile and says, "Welcome, welcome all. I've heard plenty about you from my dear husband. I'm glad to finally meet all of you. Um, please just allow me to put this down." And he puts down the tray and gives you all a little bow as she pulls the sides of her dress up. And guys, she looks exactly like the person in the portrait that was in the Fox Club Manor. This looks exactly like Aisha.
But the Reverend also looked like Aisha, right?
No, it had the same hair color, and the other options wouldn't have had the same hair color. Again, she was clawing her face off. We don't know.
I thought she was just crying tears, but or blood or something. But okay. Like I thought we had positively ID'd her as Aisha, but
We didn't. We just knew.
We get a strong suspicion that this is the one that makes the most sense.
Yeah.
But
now that we're all here, darling, will you have a drink? I don't. Is it for a good cause? For the best of them. To the memories of good friends and heroes. Fine,
Here.
I'll have just one drink then. And you see them take their spot at the table. They both grab their glasses, and Alden sort of raises it. It says, "To the memory of good friends, heroes, and to all good causes." He raises his glass.
like Robin picks up his glass and raises it.
I raised my glass.
yeah, raising glass.
Raising
Cheers.
glass.
And
Cheers.
And I'm gonna dump it in Dorbin's mouth. Whoops. Well, everybody's got their heads up, not looking. I'm just gonna dump it in his mouth.
Jesus.
Not
So
gonna lie,
So what that's going to do is I'm now taking 2 full glasses of this into my mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey.
So
Normally what you would be doing.
Dorbin is gonna breathe fire.
so
Oh, yeah.
red, you're drinking, right?
Yeah, unless there's like a convenient bush I could sleight of hand into, but I don't think there is.
There
So,
is a
drinking,
pot.
yes.
There's a pot with a plant in one corner of the room, but it's a little bit far away. You could try.
Yeah, no, I'm not standing anywhere handy to it, so he's gonna just kind of hope for the best and rely on his friends to fix him if he gets poisoned again.
Okay. Salera, you're drinking.
Yes.
Okay. Dorbin, you're drinking twice.
Yep.
Robin, you're
And a
not
third.
drinking, and Sigus, you're not drinking, right?
No, I'm gonna be a little bitch.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
that's
So
part.
Aldrin and Aisha take a long sip from their drinks, put their glasses down, and as they do, and you sort of eventually put your glasses down, Dorbin, you're the first one to feel your esophagus just like burning, as like it begins to tingle, and like it's not just alcohol. This is like a lot stronger than the reaction that you would get from alcohol. You start to feel that sort of heat building up and moving upwards towards your mouth, and you feel it sort of building in your mouth like something trying to push out. And as you're sort of even through your gritted teeth and closed lips, you see a little bit of a spout of fire just escape your mouth. And a moment later, Red, you feel the same sensation, and you can imagine that Salera, you're feeling the same as well. You can imagine the same reaction is happening with Aldrin and Aisha because they're going, and they spit out a small bout of fire into the air. And
Feeling that, would I be able to direct it out of my nose instead?
certainly you could,
When you're able to catch fire.
because
yeah.
it's just air that's moving up. Yeah, you could just spit fire out of your nose, as if you were just puffing out smoke, but instead it is
Yeah.
magical fire that comes out.
Red tries to blow a fire smoke ring.
Yeah. So a lot of you are
That's
doing
pretty
little.
strong.
Dude, you like
No,
there.
stupid.
I would like to point out, just out of character, that you have to bluff the fact that you're literally breathing fire because everyone who drank it is.
No. I'm not breathing fire. I'm just saying, wow, that stuff's pretty strong. That's it.
Yeah. Like after the fire tricks sort of vanish in the air, sort of with a little bit of sparkle after effect, Aldrin sort of looks to you and says, I wouldn't recommend holding it down. It can. I've heard that. Oh, my mouth. I've heard that it can be bad for your health, but I wouldn't exactly know. It's a very rare drink.
I mean, I don't know. I kind of got this thing going on. I don't really feel pain. Weird.
Right?
He is trying to be a paladin, so he's quite hardy now.
I see.
He is a paladin of Iomedae.
Yes,
it would
she
make
does
sense
have a
that
thing
fire
for
is magic.
fire.
Oh,
yeah,
that would explain it. That would explain it. Would you?
I was lit on fire this morning, so yeah.
Would you
Yeah, you
care
still gotta
for?
redo that story. I
Would you all care for a second drink? I know that it is quite an experience to have a little bit of this.
Get the offer, but I need
Sure.
to sort of, I need to mediate a bit and just.
Oh, certainly. Mm. Those of you who'd like to have a second drink, he'll pour a second sort of shot of this whiskey.
Sure, I'll
Can
take
I-
another double.
Attaboy.
I'll
Certainly.
take
Can I-
half.
mechanically,
that
do we feel like this is gonna
Yes.
start getting us to drunk?
Yeah, so already I would like to, all of you who drunk, so Red, Salera, and Dorbin, all of three of you, I would like you to roll a fortitude save, even before you take your second drink.
Perfect. Oh, well.
All right?
Would you like 2 from me?
Yes, because you did drink 2 doses of it. Yeah.
As a low
Right.
roll.
Oof. All right.
I still think it might be high enough for. Oh wait, no, it's
17.
actually.
Yeah. Right. Silera and Dorban, like you got it, sort of got to you. Dorban, the second dose maybe was a little bit too much. You're feeling like a little bit like not quite dizzy. It's like almost you're feeling drowsy. Like you feel like you burned through the energies of the day. It's like pushing you down quite a bit. Red, you feel the dizziness of the alcohol. It's sort of you feel the leftover burn in your stomach, but you still are just slightly wobbly. And that's about it.
And when Aldrin offers the second one, he's like, with my new stature, or sorry, not new. Well, I mean, there's a story with that, but I don't take as much alcohol as I normally as someone normally would. So I'll pass on the second round. But that was quite an experience. I do appreciate it.
Wonderful. Well, it's a pity that you'll be missing out on enjoying a little bit more of it, but it's I'm glad that you enjoyed it. I'm glad that at least you enjoyed it once. I think I'll have a second glass myself. Dorman, Solera, you still up for a second round?
Dorman will now hold up Sigis's and say, "I've got this one already."
All right.
Yes, waste not, want not.
Solera?
I could probably do another half.
Right, half a dose it is, and he pours you half a drink, and he pours himself one more drink, and he sort of consults with his wife. It's like, would you? No, okay, it's fine. He puts the stopper on the bottle and says, "I, if you care for more afterwards, I believe we could have some more, but I would rather avoid getting everyone drunk before we even consider having dinner or actually." I don't believe I have asked the reason for your visit, he says as he's putting the bottle away.
All right, who wants to
I
handle this?
immediately drink my second half.
All right,
All right.
give me another fort save.
What was that?
I need Silera to roll me another fortitude save.
Hey.
All right.
I rolled Solera.
Yeah, and if you're having your second drink immediately after as well, Dorban, you can go ahead and give me that fortitude save. All right. He's gonna sip on his slowly and like puts it down. And says, "I was saying what the purpose of your visit was. I mean, aside from visiting me, my darling wife, which I'm glad that you did, but I'm sure there must be something else that you've come for."
Robin,
Real
just looking
quick,
at everybody else. How are you guys doing? You guys good?
does Aldrin seem like he is drunk at all?
No, not at all.
Got it.
How big is Aldrin?
He is 5'10". He's a little bit lanky. Like he's not corpulent, but he does have a good shoulder width. Aside from that, he's sort of rather thin, svelte. Like he keeps himself in a good physical state, sort of thing.
And what about his wife? Does she look? She's feeling good.
She
looks fine
looks
as fuck.
she looks fine. I mean,
Mhm.
she does look fine, my dude. But
I mean,
she looks like she's doing
that's
all right.
top, I mean, obviously.
She's keeping her drinks down. She is sitting though, where Aldern is still standing, sort of moving around and trying to be a host.
We were following, came to Magmar with work and wanted to swing by and have a chat with you.
Well, work-wise, we're getting paid, but go on.
I mean, we got paid on the way down. That counts. We did
yeah.
some guard duty for a caravan.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. All right.
Alden, what have you what have you heard about Sandpoint? Have you heard of what's happened there lately?
Well, not much. After I left uh, what was it? A couple days after the unfortunate goblin attacks, I came right back to Magnor, and I've been here since then. Haven't had much news to see how the city has been.
Very understandable. So the goblins have more or less been dealt with. However,
Wonderful.
there was actually became a large number. The city was starting to be besieged by a ghoul infestation. And so we were following up on that.
Okay. How has that brought you to my home, though? It's quite an interesting development. And as he's saying this, Celera and Dorban, you guys sort of are trying to keep track of the conversation, but your eyelids are just like closing, and whatever was in that drink was way too strong, and you're just like passing out at this point.
Oh no.
um, I don't know if you, but we actually, we didn't come to your home first. We actually followed the ghouls actually to your family home. The
The
estate.
manor.
Yes.
My, that's quite. Hold on a minute. I think. I believe we have board our some of our guests. Darling, if you could take Dorabin and Solera to one of the guest rooms.
So, would
Do
you?
I actually fall asleep, or am I getting just really close to?
You know, you're just like straight up passed out, blacked out.
Yeah, I'm gonna get Silera.
Would I have been able to cast Lesser Restoration on myself before I passed out?
It sort of overcame you very quickly.
Okay. All right. I was just
Red would say, Robin, why don't you give her a hand? Dorban is going to be hard to move with that armor.
Well, they seem quite comfortable. I think actually we might let them rest and we all stay here and have a chat.
Sure.
I'm gonna also prepare just while we're chatting, dispel magic in case anything.
What do you mean by prepare to spell?
I don't know if I can do that because like in combat you can like have an action like primed.
but you cast the spell when you do it.
Yeah, essentially.
Never mind that. So I just
literally
don't understand that mechanic. So I'm just wrong. Don't worry.
No. The thing is, you can prepare you can prepare the casting of a spell. The thing is, if you want to prepare it and then be ready to let go whenever you need it, you would be casting the spell, which would be like super evident when you're doing it at a table.
So just for like countering, because you can use it to counter spell things. So I don't know how that.
So you can prepare to counter spell, but you have to cast the same spell that's being cast. So you pretty much have to identify.
Or the opposite.
Dispel magic can counter.
Yeah.
Anything of the same level or lower.
So you pretty much prepare to counter spell specifically. You don't have to prepare to cast spell magic. Yeah.
So I'm gonna just keep my eyes out if like they spring into attack because it seems like they've knocked out 2 of our party already.
So
that or like.
Yeah. So you're getting maybe your hand onto your pouch, making sure that you have your components at hand. Maybe like playing with a feather in between your fingers as you're talking, which I'm guessing like a feather would be probably is a common casting component. Yes.
Yeah, and I would be like, what do you think we? Do you have any idea what we found when we got there?
No. What did you find? And the 3 of you who are still awake at the table can give me perception checks.
Can Red also palm his switchblade?
Certainly.
There we go.
All right.
Sorry, I'm on spells, and I was wondering why I couldn't find perception.
The most powerful of all spells, perception.
It really is.
It's good.
All right. Robin and Red, you two do spot something a little bit curious. As Aldrin is sort of like, as he's talking, he's reached one hand down, and what at first seemed like he was reaching to grab his wife's hand, he's sort of reaching under the table, and so is she.
Can Red kind of break in and roll a real quick intimidate check here? I will describe what I'm doing if this is acceptable.
Sure, you
as
can
an interrupt.
Yeah, you were palming your weapon at this time, and it is as you palm your weapon and are about to say or do something that we'll see what's about to happen. But I will have everyone roll initiative as I move you to the right map.
But because we noticed they don't get surprise round, basically, that's about it.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Oops, I need the.
Oh, I'm not clicking on my person.
Nope.
Me
I need to move the right tokens because I used the ones that are linked to your sheets, and I have changed all the tokens since.
Your first, like, wait, I just thought you didn't feel it.
I also haven't popped the turn thing up. Come on. Fuck. There we go. Valera. Oops. Red.
Also to note, we are now helpless.
Currently. Yeah. Yes, you are.
Basically dead.
Oh, that's a tiny room.
That is indeed a tiny room.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Robin,
Sorry, guys.
Robin's got Cythera.
I can try to tangle up the lady.
I'll just quickly
Wake me up inside.
wake me
Robin
up,
will smack you around. Robin's the first
A little bit.
person to smack you around. Robin will smack you into the fucking grave.
That set of doors would be open, and I'm just gonna.
Are you sure?
I don't
Oh
want to
my
be asleep. I don't want to be helpless.
Now you're just more asleep.
Do you want us to click on our token and reroll initiative, or do you
I've
want to
already
put in
added
the
your.
ones we already?
Just
Perfect.
load the values into the tokens that I've added already to the turn order.
Awesome.
Me and Sawyer need to roll as well.
Yes, you
Or
do.
Wait till we come awake.
Just roll now, just so that it's on the turn tracker. In case you're able to wake up during the fight. So I would like for Red to tell me what exactly it is that you're trying to intimidate these people with.
Well, Red, noticing that they're going for something under the table, was basically going to using basically like kick the table. Since he's across from the wife, would be kicking the table towards the wife and go, "Look, we've had enough of the charade. We know what is happening in this house, and I see you reaching for weapons. You will stop now in the name of the Magnamar's guards."
Right, so you get about to kick the table and go, I know what's going on, and by the time that you finish that, both Aldrin and the wife have drawn scimitars from underneath the table, and as you push the table, you sort of pin, or I would like you to do a CMD, because you're essentially pushing the table onto 3 people.
Does it go in front of Sigus as well, or is it?
Yes,
just going
Sigus is at the table. It doesn't show properly on the map,
okay.
but Sigus is on the table. Or
Okay.
at the table. Sorry.
What were you saying there, Alex?
No, go ahead.
Okay, let me try the CMB. Could just get a casual nat 20.
Nice. Sigus, I don't see your initiative roll.
I got a
You rolled a
10.03.
point.
Ah, there we go. Yeah, I was at the very beginning. Okay, 10.0. There we go. All right. And I need to do one of these. All right. So, and go descending, and here we go. All right. With that nat 28, you push the table, and you've essentially put the table sort of squeezing the wife, Gorbin, and Sigs. But with a single, I would say a move action, they were going to be able to push it back unless you're trying to hold it there.
No, he wasn't trying to hold it. He was more just trying to impede the grabbing of the weapons.
Unfortunately, like it was sort of simultaneous, but she will have to push it.
I get that it was simultaneous, but this works too.
All right. So, Robin, as you see Aldrin and Aisha bring out weapons, it is your turn to act.
So picking up an object is a move action, not part of a move action, right?
Correct.
Okay, so Robin's gonna pick up Silera because she can't fight back.
All right.
And he's going to, I guess, if she's pinned behind the table, does she provoke?
What do you mean if she provokes? Because you're picking her, she would never provoke.
Okay. All right. So yeah, Robin's gonna move to here with Silera, to here, and do I know which way is?
Oh right, I get what you were asking now. You would provoke, but Silera doesn't.
Okay, I'm gonna acrobatics through it because it's just a threatened square, not their act.
Yeah.
All right. So fuck them. And do I know either where the closest window is or the closest way out is?
So you have the stairs down to your right. The closest windows are here, 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 and they are boarded up.
I didn't see any of those things.
Right, I'm the wrong layer. So the stairs down to your right, and the windows are here, here, and here.
Okay.
Got that?
So, what?
You got that? Okay.
So if the windows are in the room that we were in, Robin's going to grab Silera and go down the stairs.
All right.
If it's a move action to pick her up, Robin will just get 40 feet.
While carrying her, you would be slowed down, I would say.
I'm not gonna ask a woman how much she weighs.
No, it doesn't matter. It's a very no. It's not just about the weight. It's just about how inconvenient it is to bring someone unconscious over your shoulder.
Okay.
Yeah. Because you're essentially grappling and dragging someone.
For your reference, 150.
150.
Not that it matters. I just.
Okay, so yeah, I would have a 30-foot movement.
Yeah, but you're also trying not to fucking decapitate her against the door, right? So you need to slow down when you're walking.
Hey, I'm Dexy. I don't know.
Not that Dexy.
I'll just manhandle her and just like flip her around like those people with the signs on the side of the street, like, oh no.
Yeah, no. So
like accidentally grab a titty, like, whoop, my bad. Flip her around. Like,
my God, but we're applying essentially grapple rules for this.
Yeah. Okay, so I can move her
20 feet essentially, I think.
I think it's 5 feet per 5 you beat their CMP, but I auto pass, so I don't know how that works.
No, we're gonna say that it's just difficult terrain while you're holding Silera for the ease of it.
Okay, so then that would have been well, I would have grabbed her here, so that would have been 5. That would have been 15.
25, 35. I'll give it.
So
I would say that's about where you get.
Yeah. All right.
As you're probably like jumping down the stairs to gain some momentum and some time, earn some time. Silera, you're unconscious, and the two of them are gonna act in this point. She's gonna push the table away from her with a kick, and try to swing you, Red. And so is Alden.
And so, am I counting as flat-footed because I haven't acted yet, or how's that work with surprise?
I will say that you have acted just because you did sort
Go
of
to
get
table
that
at
one
them?
action to push the table.
Okay, in that case, I will parry the first one that comes at me.
All right, so you would be trying to parry her.
Yes.
All right.
Let me roll that attack roll for you here.
All right.
I need to figure which one of these is a single.
Oh,
Son?
Yeah, I mean you
That's
parry
fine.
her, so you can roll an attack if you want to.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll that attack. That's good, but
All
not
right.
intimidating.
So, does you need to hit in order to intimidate that? Pretty sure you do. Okay. Yeah. So, you manage to deflect her scimitar, and as you try to go to counterattack, she pulls back, and you with a reduced range of the switchblade, you can't quite reach her as she's now sort of half using the table as a shield. And as you're sort of concentrating on that, the Aldern is gonna swing at you from the side. What's your AC?
Right now it is at 20 because they're
Doesn't
both
matter.
under, it's at
Doesn't
22.
matter. I rolled really fucking low. So they take a swing with a scimitar and they sort of whiff very hard as they don't even come close to hitting you, trying to avoid hitting their wife in the process. And next up in the initiative is Red, so it is your turn.
All right. In that case, I will be doing a full attack on the lady that is in near Dorbin because she is going to be a problem if I let her get at him.
Right.
Because now I believe I have the ability to do full attacks. But first, actually, I will do a rage.
All right. I'm guessing you're letting
because
loose.
you're smaller.
Yeah. Is it rage or is it a tantrum? I'm not really sure.
It's a tantrum. It's a tantrum. He's like, "Stop trying to drug my friends." And,
right.
Jumps at her face.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and roll me that full attack with rage.
Wow, those are some great rolls, everybody.
All right. So as you strike her with the first blow, she sort of reels back, and as you pull your blade out, you see sort of this. Instead of seeing blood, it's sort of this completely black tar that is almost like stretching out from her, sticking to the blade as you pull back, like producing this long, stretchy line of black viscous liquid. And as she sort of looks at her wound, you see the shape of her clothes and her chest start to change, and they become this sort of black, not quite black, but like this dark brown color, with the rippling effects that start to spread through her body.
Did she not ping on my undead?
Nope.
She's not undead.
She's not undead.
And also, she wasn't she was in the kitchen until she came upstairs, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, my undead was still active.
Oh, I guess
With you afterwards, as you go for the second swing, she manages to push you out of the way, sort of trying to dodge a little bit of the attack, and manages just barely to do so.
Is she immune to fear effects?
She's
because the first one would technically trigger in any shaken conditions.
You wouldn't know.
Yes, I know I wouldn't know. I'm just because I know shaken impacts AC.
Shaken does not impact AC.
Oh, it doesn't? Okay,
no.
Never mind.
It affects the hit.
Okay, yeah.
Also, does the precision work? I guess that's a better question.
That's a better question.
She looks fugly.
Yeah. So as you pull back your weapon and you start to see this rippling effect spread through her, you see her clothes and body sort of merge together and form this sort of taut, leathery skin around her body, and then you see different shapes that look like hands and faces, almost as if they were pressed from the inside of her body, trying to push their way out. And for everyone, this is what she now looks like.
What the fuck?
Indeed.
Hot.
Does
Super
it
hot.
still care about its scimitar? The big scary
It still
claw?
has a scimitar in its hand, but it does have like rather scary claws now. Well, it's more like
Sir, your
giant
life
fists.
is hideous.
Yeah. Right, it is still your turn if you want to use a 5-foot step, for instance.
My AC is actually slightly better with them both on me. So I think he'll stay where it is, but he will yell to Sigus to try or someone pull Dorbin out of the way.
All right, Sigus, it is your turn.
I thought about casting Mage Armor before we walked into the house, and I'm really regretting not doing that right now. Yeah, I'm gonna try and drag Dorbin out going this way, so to like this square, and then across.
So
And up.
crossing that second square, you're gonna proc an AOO. This one
true.
here.
Yeah.
So if you take him to the corner, you might be better off. But
Can I drag?
Yeah, you could drag Dorbin and sort of like try to slam him, throw him.
Yeah. So if
against
I was
the
gonna
wall.
move up and then try and get Dorbin into that square,
Yeah, you
would
could.
moving him provoke?
No, it doesn't provoke. Forced movement
Okay.
never provokes.
Got it. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and do that.
Technically, you would need to be his CMD, but he is helpless, so you sort of grab him and with all your strength manage to drag him and throw him against the wall.
That is good.
Quick
'cause
question:
my-
what is your dragon push?
That's a very good question.
no.
Can he actually drag Dorbin?
I think
So
you should
my dragon
Drag,
push
probably.
is 300.
How much does Dorbin plus all his
your
equipment weigh?
Your drag's gotta be higher than that.
No, his strength is pathetic.
No.
He can't move me.
Oh my god.
315.
Ah,
So,
shit.
Sigus,
Yeah,
you go
my
to...
strength is 6, by the way.
Yeah, so Sigus, you go to grab Dorbin, and I think this is the first time that Sigus has realized how weak he is, but you go to grab Dorbin, and you drag the chair with him, it's like... and you feel yourself, like, running out of air as you're trying your best to drag Dorbin out.
God, it's all the empty calories. Do I still have actions to try and cast a spell? Or
I
is
would say that was your standard action, because you
That's
would have
fair.
to try. Give me a strength check, because I'll see if... I think you should be able to, like, on a feat of strength, maybe drag him 5 feet. Never mind.
No.
I don't know what you guys expected, honestly.
The roll went
I
from
don't
like
know, man.
16 to 8, and I'm like, damn.
Damn. Alright, that would be a 5 foot and a standard. You still have your move action if you can cast something with it. Or do anything with it, really.
I don't know if I can. Nothing springs to mind. I don't know
Alright.
what is a good move thing. So
Don't think
I'm
you
gonna
have anything.
pull out my wand, my cattle prod wand.
Alright, yeah, you pull out your shocking grasp wand. And
That's
you're ready.
smart.
Robin, it is your turn.
Robin's going to take a movement to go downstairs.
Alright.
So that'd be
10, 15, 20, down to here.
sure. And he doesn't see, and the front doors are to the south, right?
Sorry, I forgot to leave the things open. Give me one sec. Boop. This is open. No, it's to the north that you have the main doors. So, whoops, I'm just gonna leave it open as if the doors weren't there, just because you know what's on the other side.
Yep.
Boom.
Okay.
That should...
Robin will then double move to here, taking Silara with him.
Alright. The doors are technically closed right now. Just pointing that out.
He can't. I mean, he can only get to them anyways. He can't get out of them yet.
Alright. Double move and get Solera over to... You're essentially next to the table with the rotten smelling fruit. Right.
Yeah.
Solera, you're still unconscious. It is the turn of the creatures who are gonna She is gonna try and she's gonna provoke from you, Red, as she's sort of climbing over the table and standing between you and Sigus.
Okay, I will take that swing.
All right.
There is a crit.
Damn,
Nice.
son.
Oh,
Oh,
thank
shit.
God.
Thank you.
Is
Right.
it actually able to take the crit though?
I don't know. It's a weird golem-y thing.
It looks like it's Goop. Goop doesn't usually take crits.
No, it's hard to
Let me
precisely
double
damage
check.
them.
Let me double
That's
check.
the kind of positive thinking, that negative thinking that's going to get us into a lot of trouble, Brandon.
I'm pretty
Red-
sure.
Red-
I'm pretty sure they don't.
Right.
But let me double check.
Red will also yell at Sigus, "What is this?"
Oh, that's a good thing. I should try and use my brain.
Yeah,
If it's,
I-
yeah,
if it's an
that's
aberration,
nothing, then
it
you haven't
likely
been
does
using
not
it.
take the critical
I'm
damage.
busy freaking out, man.
Yeah,
that,
no.
that is very you. Yes.
I was gonna say that's why Red is yelling at you, because he's like not hearing your voice of wisdom.
And now Sigus is just also afraid of Red and crying in the corner, like.
I'm just like,
What do you
I'm
want
just-
from me?
I'm very scared of physical things.
I'm
Yeah, he's
Um,
in melee now.
harm.
Yeah. Though, to be fair, like, Rosens and who have been going through my character sheet and constantly finding reasons why I should have more health. So that's been nice.
Yeah.
So,
So Red,
yes.
as you turn around and stab them as they're climbing over their table, you manage to catch them in a weak spot. And as you push your dagger, well, your switchblade deeper into their body, you sort of almost like dig your entire hand into their flesh. You hear them go as where their mouth should be is just an opening with hundreds of teeth, and where their eyes should be are two other openings with hundreds of teeth. And they just scream from all three mouths as they collapse to the floor. And as they do collapse, Alteran sort of changes their appearance to match theirs, and they are attacking you from behind with everything they have.
Oh shit! I'm out of AOs too.
Yep.
Oh shit.
Whip. So they
So at
drop.
second level, you can fix that.
Red, you're my hero right now.
Yeah.
Oops.
My AC is now 21 because she dropped.
Yeah, give me just 1 second. It's not rolling the attack.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
Take the worst one.
No attack for you.
Also, it's a good thing that
Damn.
she dropped because they would have had a +2 to the attack.
Yeah, and sneak attack. So
Oh, no.
Red, yeah, Red. As this thing tries to grab you, you manage to dodge out of the way, and they crack open a piece of the table, and they're sort of slobbering from all three mouths in their face, and you see these tongues sort of almost hanging out of their out of their mouths, and they have like almost a stinger shape to them. All three mouths have each an individual tongue stinger thing. But with that, they sort of exhaust it themselves. And Red, it is your turn.
I'm an angry gnome. Die.
Ah, damn, dude. Fucking destroying this fight, my dude. Alright,
Handedly.
you stab and then stab again as you continue to lay pressure on them. As you deal 15 and 17, okay. 32 damage. Yeah, so with those two strong stabs to their chest, they sort of start to crumple down. They're bleeding this viscous black liquid from every pore that you open. Anything else you would like to do with your turn, Red?
He is gonna take a 5-foot step down over the table, if that's possible, so that.
Not a
if he's
5-foot
trying to
step.
get-
You would need a move action to go over it.
I would need to move. Let me
Yeah.
just check what my acro is. I want to see.
You
how
can't move because
bad-
you full attacked.
Oh yeah, I did a full attack. Yeah, no, you're right. I just wanted to try and block him,
Block
him
them from
going
getting to dormant.
but
Yeah.
yeah, no, that's fair.
Right? Is that going to be your turn then?
Yes.
All right, then Sigus, it is yours.
Okay. I am going to.
Face your fears.
No, not really.
it.
I don't like that. I was
Red did
gonna
yell,
cast
"What are
haste.
these things?"
Oh yeah, I'm gonna try and figure out what this thing is for sure.
Sure. Go ahead and give me a knowledge dungeoneering.
Okay.
The rare dungeoneering.
Yeah. Reserved for creatures that are aberrations and their kin. So Sigus,
that ain't bad.
you would know that these creatures, now that you're taking a moment to look at the decomposing corpse in front of you, these creatures are known as faceless stalkers, or also by their sort of racial name, the Ugothal. They are really scary creatures because they can not just take and imitate perfectly the appearance of someone, but also their voice and, with the right methods, even use some of their memories.
Okay, that's terrifying.
Yes.
Well, I
are
understand
the
where they
well
get the
creatures.
fateless part.
Kill it with fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Sigus, what do you do with your action for the turn?
Okay, well, I'm going to. I was gonna cast haste on red, and I think that's still a good idea. It's a big spell, but
Yeah.
The other one was described as somewhat crumbling to the
Yeah.
like.
One of them is unconscious at the very least, and the other one is half done.
Yeah, so I'm then going to. I'm just going to attack it with a acid splash.
All right, go ahead and give me a roll for that as you're shooting over Red's shoulder, or I guess over their head because they're small now, and aiming for the chest of the Aldern imposter. As you generate this orb of green liquid and shoot it straight at them, striking them in the chest, they sort of reel back, and you see their skin peeling off, revealing almost like just more of the same material underneath the first layer.
Weird.
Yep. All right. Is that your turn then? Biggest?
Yes, it is.
All right, then Robin. It is your turn.
Robin's gonna open the door.
Right. You try the door and it is locked.
All right. Well, I'm going to place Silera down and start picking it then.
All right. Celeria is still unconscious. It is the turn of this creature who is gonna try and. Huh. They're gonna try and push you, Red.
Is that a thing that I can parry? Can I parry a push?
No, because that is a CMD.
I think it's still considered an attack.
Is it an attack roll? If it's an attack
No,
roll,
it's CMB.
CMB maneuvers are considered attack rolls, though.
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
I'm pretty confident.
I'll have to double check it, but let's go with it for the time being. Give me an attack roll then to try and parry it. Oh, I can't see.
Not my best.
No. So you go to try and parry them as they are pushing towards you, and they manage to hit you. What's your CMD?
My CMD. That is a good question. I don't look at that one as much. That is 22.
Right? They sort of push your weapon aside, grab you, and throw you over the table, sort of landing over here, and they're gonna move past. Sort of in that moment, they're moving past you and trying to go upstairs. I would say they do provoke, but they are gonna provoke with cover as you're being thrown overboard. Sort of thing.
Am I prone?
No, you are just on the other side of the table. You were grabbed.
Oh.
Essentially, you were grappled. They moved, and then they let go of you. So they still provoke, but they do have cover, half cover.
Okay.
So that plus 2 to AC.
I will still wait, no, I can't attack them because that parry.
Oh, that parry was your for the turn. Okay.
AOL.
Yeah. All right.
Yep.
So they just continue going upstairs, and you lose track of them. All right. Next up is going to be your turn as you sort of recompose yourself and grab onto the ledge of the table.
Red will kind of look over at Sigus and his face, like you can see he's not quite all there, and he's just his hair's just kind of sticking up on end, and he's just like, "Watch him! I'm gonna find that one," and he'll take off after the stalker.
Yeah.
Right.
And then heading upstairs. So that's 15, 20, because I'm slow.
All right. That's a single move action. Are you?
Yes, then I will double.
All right.
So I'll get another 20 feet on there.
Yeah, 10. Okay, you managed to get up to behind them, but that is your turn, I believe.
Yep, that works.
All right. Dorman, you're unconscious. Sigus, it is your turn.
I am going to at least move just into this hall where I can see. Did I see which direction Red ran?
This direction that you're going in.
Okay, and then Robin ran the other direction?
The other way, yeah. So Red went upstairs and Robin went downstairs.
Okay, I'm gonna yell down to Robin that we've got a runner. And then I'm going to go down here and quickly check on Dorban, making sure that he is still breathing and if he's responsive like at all. And we're gonna like open his eyelids and see if his pupils move and give him a slap in the face.
So you're checking up on them. Give me a heal check.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you look at them. Their pupils are not responding. They do have a breath as you sort of put your hand in front of their nose. You can tell they're alive, but as you slap them, they don't seem to react at all. And that is going to be your turn, I believe, because that was a move and a standard. So Robin, it is your turn, and you do hear Sigus calling out to you.
So, for disabled device, I can take 10 picking a lock, but I can't take 10 doing a trap. So can I take 10 to open this door as a full round action?
Sure, I'll allow it. Okay. Give me what's your bonus currently at?
My bonus is plus 15. So
okay, yeah, it just opens.
Great. So that's my turn, and as a free action, I'm just gonna be like, Korax, we got a runner.
All right.
Because I know he's still up in the sky.
Okay. You hear from above. This guy is gonna. They're gonna try and grab you again, Red.
I'm gonna try and parry them again.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Hopefully it goes better than the last time. Yeah.
No. So, just barely. You're about to take them. To sort of push away their hand with your knife, and they manage to grab your other wrist, and as they do, they sort of throw you to the side and down the stairs. And I would like you to give me a reflex save as you're trying to catch yourself.
A reflex save, you say?
Yeah, indeed.
Right, yeah. 26.
You sort of do a half somersault, landing in the steps right immediately next to them. And as they turn around, they sort of push the doors open, revealing the interior of that room. All right, and that is going to be their turn. Red, it is yours. All right, you 5-foot step up, following after them. I'm guessing you're gonna go for a final attack. Is that what's happening?
Sorry, I didn't realize I was muted. I was
You
saying
were.
that is a weird carpet, and also I can't 5 foot because those are stairs.
You cannot. Yeah, you're right. You cannot 5 foot step up, but you could move and attack.
I will try to move and attack and do the. I'll try the acrobatics.
Okay, give me an acrobatics.
If I can find where my skills are. Not the. Okay.
I mean, you most definitely don't provoke as you sort of tumble forward, landing on their other side, almost like on their blind spot, picking yourself back up and readying to attack them.
And now we do the stabs.
All right.
Little jabs.
Roll some crits there, bud.
Yeah, no, they are fucking dead as you. As I said, you sort of land on their blind side, stand back up. They sort of turn around. They don't see you, and you manage to get behind them. And how do you want to finish them off?
With Red's new stature, if you've ever seen Chucky, this is about what it looks like. He's just kind of grinning manically and poking it repeatedly.
Right, so imagine like you're jumping on their back and then stabbing into their back repeatedly as you maniacally laugh to yourself. God. And with that, they collapse to the floor under your weight as you continue to stab them a couple more times just to make sure. And, yep. No, they are definitely dead. Oh, whoops, wrong one.
And Red will yell down, "Clear!"
All right.
And drop out of the rage for now.
Wait, isn't that Sigus's line?
It might be, I don't know.
He's got shocking grasp on the wand.
Oh yeah.
Clear. Yeah. So, Robin, you have unlocked the doors. You do hear from above, echoing through the house, the call of Red going, clear.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm just gonna call up Korax and say we're clear. Never mind. And if they're saying clear, Robin will just grab Silera once more and work his way back up the stairs.
Yep. Yeah. And as you're walking up the stairs, and similarly on the main table, Sigus, as you're sort of checking through Dorban, the two unconscious people begin to regain their consciousness, as whatever was in their systems is already passing through, and you start to sort of slowly regain your consciousness.
Hey, buddy.
Red will try and drag the other faceless stalker down to the main room.
Right.
How do we feel?
Yeah.
You feel like you had been knocked over the head with a mace, but also there's like an intense burning in the back of your eyes. Like something definitely was messing with your brain.
Like the alcohol itself or something additional?
No, there was something else, definitely.
Okay.
This isn't just like hangover. This feels like almost like an allergic reaction you had. And you're like clearing from it.
Well, that whiskey was delicious.
Red or Robin, does one of you want to go check the house to make sure no one else is here?
I'll go ahead, Robin.
I was gonna say, as long as you guys keep an eye on Silera, yeah.
Yeah, I'll hold this room. Red, you wanna?
I'll stay on the. I'll put these guys in the corner, and then I'll stay on this floor until Robin's done with the main.
Yeah, and let's just drag this other one into the other, like, out of this room.
Don't
Or
put
I
me
can
in
try
the
and do
corner.
that.
No, I got it. I got mule back cords. That'll help.
Oh, okay, yeah, that will help.
Dorban's going to like kind of stretch and make sure there's nothing permanent.
Doesn't look like it.
All right.
But give me a heal check.
Okay.
Hey.
All right. You can definitely tell that you were poisoned, and what's running through your veins has run its course. But you still are sort of feeling the after effects of the alcohol, and that's about it.
Yeah. All right.
So, Dorbin, now that the fight's over, this is the part where I say I told you so about the poisoning.
That's fine. I mean, I'm not right 100% of the time.
I think it was good that we drank it to maintain appearances, but also good that half of us did not.
I'm sorry. There's no way that I'll ever turn down that.
And
I wonder if he poisoned the whole bottle or just the part of it. Because if he didn't poison the whole bottle, that stuff goes for a pretty penny.
Also, sorry I drank. I was really nervous to be in the house and felt like maybe it would make me feel better. I don't feel better.
No, but honestly, given the circumstances, I understand you just like choosing to be like, all right, well, fuck it, drink. And I get that. I understand that. But, somebody had to be sober.
Yeah, no, I think it makes sense.
Somebody that was unconscious.
Thanks,
Sorry.
Dad.
But yeah, I got you.
Dorbin's gonna take the bottle and take a sip out of it.
Sure, give me a fortitude save.
God.
Is it the whole fucking bottle?
I mean,
I'm not gonna. I'm hoping it's not poison. But
yeah, no, you grab the bottle, you remove the cork, the stopper, and you hear a much smaller dragon roar, and you take a sip, and you sort of put the stopper back on. You let the alcohol burn through your esophagus, and you feel that sort of a tingling sensation of fire running back up through your throat and into your mouth. And as it comes out, it sort of sparkles in the air and sort of burns, and then you feel the alcohol just fucking kicking you in the ass because you've already had like 4 doses of this, and this is your 5th, and it's like, yeah, no, you're definitely now drunk. You're not poisoned. You're definitely having alcohol poisoning, though.
all right.
Poisoning.
So was it poison earlier, or was it just like super alcoholic?
I was gonna point
poison
fingers on the end of their tongues and be like, yeah, those probably have poison in them. I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you.
The glasses likely were poisoned.
No, they were poisoned. Normal booze doesn't do that to you.
This stuff's really good, guys.
Anyway,
Take it with us.
Dorbin, you might want to lay off that until we
for an hour, maybe.
Yeah, until we finish clearing the house. Now that you two are feeling up, we want to start going floor by floor. I'm guessing these two faceless whatchamajiggies they didn't have time to clear up everything, so there's probably some stuff around.
No, they've probably been here for a while. This has probably been a form of base of operations. And, the justice said something about seeing Aldern the other day. It was probably this thing.
Yeah,
and
probably.
So if this is a base of operations, people are going to be coming back here, and they're going to notice that either these things are missing or that they're dead. So we have to make some choices starting now.
Yes.
Yep.
So sorry, go ahead.
I think I totally agree with that, and also I think it'll be great if people start coming back to this. We can do a nice sting, but we definitely should start by seeing what else is in this house.
Yeah,
yes.
I'll go ahead and I'll take this floor. You guys stay here for now.
Well, why don't we go together just in case there's any other friendlies around?
I should be okay knocking them the fuck out.
All right,
Okay.
Real quick, the inebriation rules. Am I on stage 3?
You'll have to excuse me not remembering those by my heart.
I've got it up if you want me to link it.
Yeah, I think I can find it very quickly, but
Okay.
I think it's drinking rules. Yeah, drinking rules. Yeah.
I mean, if I failed to save 3 times, then yes.
Yes, yes. You're in stage.
My last dose wasn't a full shot. I was just sipping it to make sure it wasn't poisoned.
I'm
not sure if that one.
No, I would say you're in stage 2 right now. Because it's less about how much you've drunk, it's the speed at which you have had the drinks and how potent it is.
And also the poison.
The poison is unlinked to the inebriation, though.
No, I thought it would have made it worse.
I mean, it doesn't help, definitely.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
So I should roll
Dwarven, no hot, no sharp, no bike.
Yes.
2d4s to see how long this stuff lasts, I guess.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a 2d4 to see how many hours you're gonna be suffering the alcohol, the slow burn alcoholic presence.
So the first my first part, which is what +2 morale bonus to physical stats, lasts for 3 hours, and I get -2 to all alcohol fort saves for the 3 hours as well.
Yep, and you also get a -2 morale.
They're all mental stat.
Yep.
For 1 hour.
Yep.
Alright.
So for the next hour, your mind is sort of clouded by the alcohol, but for the next 3 hours, you're sort of feeling also like your weights, the weights of life, have been lifted from your shoulders. However, on that note, as Dorban, you're sort of woozy and getting back into the swing of things, and the rest of you are sort of locking the house down for a proper investigation. I think that is going to be where we leave tonight's session at.
Huzzah!
Oh yeah, sounds good to me.
All right.
I forgot to use the fate die. Woo!
Indeed. You could have used it to end the fight earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I should have used it on some of those parries that I failed, but that's okay.
Well,
it worked well.
I hope that everyone enjoyed the session, and yeah, I'm gonna end the stream right there, and we can chit chat a little bit more.
Bye, stream.
Bye, stream.
Stream.
Bye.